So, Eddie, what were you going to ask me?
You really want to know?
Yeah, I really want to know. Ask me.
Do you really?
Yeah, ask me. Are you ready for the football?
Ah, freaking traffic. Used to be a red light on a car meant something. What we got?
Robbery.
Smash and grab?
Well, it's messy, but I think some planning went into this one.
What'd they get?
2 football games.
2 what?
2 football games.
Jen, do you hear the words coming out of your mouth, huh? How does one steal 2 football games?
Andy, I don't know, but I got a ton of eyewitnesses telling exactly the same story. Some said there's even a videotape of the crime.
We have the tape, and the evidence is overwhelming. The Eagles stole a pair of games from the Giants 1 year ago. The initial heist came in mid-October when the Giants held a 9-3 lead with just 1 minute 52 seconds left in the game. McNabb to the end zone. Touchdown by James Thrash. The Eagles swiped another in late December, scoring 10 unanswered points in the final minute 49. McNabb's toss.
Did you hear what I said? They got it on tape.
Yeah, I heard what you said. Is this the evidence?
It's just a cheesesteak sandwich.
No, this isn't just a cheesesteak sandwich. It's a Philly cheesesteak.
Are you ready for some football? Put the pedal to the metal in somebody's fear. Tonight, the NFL kicks it into high gear. The Giants look to cast a winning spell. The Eagles are primed to ring New York's bell. You better sit back, strap in, and hold tight. It's always full throttle on Monday night. Come on and hit it. Come on and get ready. Are you ready for some football? A Monday night party. It's a Super Bowl season. We're gonna rock it. Players at the ready. Al and John at the mic. All my ready friends are here for Monday night.
A crisp night in Philadelphia. As you look at downtown Philly, temperature 51 degrees. A few miles south, down Broad Street to Veterans Stadium. The end of an era. The 32nd season for the Eagles here. Their last. It's the last Monday night game at the Vet. They'll move across the parking lot to their new digs next year. And out onto the field come the Eagles to meet their arch nemesis, the New York Giants, on Monday Night Football. Al Michaels, John Madden, Melissa Stark, welcome to Philadelphia. Well, the Eagles have looked great at times this season. Come off a big win last week against Tampa Bay, lead the NFC East with a record of 4-2. But what do you make of a team that loses to Tennessee and Jacksonville? Still 4-2 on top in their division. And facing the Giants, huge game for the Giants tonight. They're 2 games back if they lose. They're tied with Philly if they win. They come in with a mark of 3-3. They have been unbelievably inconsistent. And John, what do you make of a team that is scoring only 14.3 points per game, 3rd worst in the league at this point?
I think what you just said, Al, is inconsistent and generally inconsistent offensively. More specific, once they get inside the 20, it seems that bad things happen to them. And I don't know if they're a good team that is playing inconsistent, or maybe they're just an inconsistent team. But I think they're going to find out a lot about themselves tonight offensively. But it all starts with the offensive line, because they have to protect Kerry Collins. Kerry Collins is going to have to make plays. But I'll tell you, the Philadelphia Eagles always and are going to give them a heavy, heavy dose of blitzing.
No question. Jim Johnson, their defensive coordinator, loves to do that. As far as the Eagles are concerned, when the season began, most people thought the Rams were the best in the NFC. They're not right now. So who's the best? Can it be a team that through 6 games has lost to Jacksonville and Tennessee? Can it be the Eagles?
Yeah, I mean, you don't get any prizes for being in first place at Halloween, but I think that, you can be in the top. And I think that's where the Eagles are. If you have, a group in the top, a group in the middle, a group at the bottom, this Philadelphia Eagle team is on the tops. And last week, Deuce Staley ran, and they ran the ball a little more. I don't think that's really the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles offensively are still Donovan McNabb, and defensively, they're still a aggressive blitzing team.
McNabb always a treat to watch, as is Michael Strahan, who'll be matched up tonight with tackle John Runyon in the game within the game on Monday Night Football. Tonight's quarterback comparison is brought to you by McDonald's. Kerry Collins has thrown all of his team's passes over the last 2.5 seasons. His lifetime record as the Giants starter is 24-21. Donovan McNabb is the type of quarterback who figures to become a regular at the Pro Bowl. In addition to his 12 touchdown passes, he's run for 4 more. Only on Monday Night Football last week in Pittsburgh, that's the way Jerome Bettis and his pals warmed up before a big win against Indianapolis. Who'll be the star tonight? Might it be Michael Strahan? Might it be Donovan McNabb? Big NFC East rivalry. Giants, Eagles on Monday Night Football. Kickoff when we come back.
ABC Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia sold out. 32nd and final season here for the Eagles. The Giants come into this place for the last time, barring a playoff appearance. And let's go down to the field. Melissa Stark with Coach Jim Fossil of the Giants. Melissa?
Well, Al, the Giants certainly struggling on offense. Only 3 teams are averaging fewer points per game. Jim, what did you do during the bye week to try to correct that?
Well, Melissa, we had to work on our run game. We needed to get our run game going. That'll help us in the red area. And then don't allow for penalties down there. That backs us out of the field goal range and takes away from the touchdowns.
You did something on Saturday that you've never done. You and your entire coaching staff left in the middle of practice. What was the reason, and how did the team respond?
Well, I told them that we were practicing like we expected to be mediocre. We don't do this to be mediocre. We want to win. And I did it. It wasn't a ploy. It wasn't anything else. And they finished practice the way I thought the leadership should take over. And I think we're ready to play tonight.
All right, have a great night.
Thanks.
All right, Al. Well, Monday night has not been kind to the Giants, especially when they play the Eagles. They've won once in 6 tries. That was 30 years ago.
30 years ago, and this place opened up in 1971. Last Monday night game at the Vet. Andy Reid, in his 4th season now as the Eagles head coach, took his team last year to the NFC Championship game where they were beaten by the Rams. Can he make one further step this year? Fireworks going off. Temperature 51 degrees, and Matt Bryant, in his first year with the Giants, he was a pawnbroker for the past couple of years in Texas, sends it in the direction of Brian Mitchell from the 3, and the venerable one brings it back out to the 26-yard line. That's where the Eagles will set up shop with this offensive unit.
Donovan McNabb, Syracuse University.
Deuce Staley, South Carolina. Cecil Martin, Wisconsin.
Todd Pinkston, the University of Southern Mississippi.
James Thrash, Missouri Southern.
Chad Lewis, BYU.
Trey Thomas, Florida State.
John Wellborn, University of California.
Hank Fraley, Robert Morris.
Jermaine Mayberry, Texas A&M Kingsville.
John Runyon, Michigan.
And the guy who'll be looking through Runyon's face mask all night, Michael Strahan. McNabb going to the air on first down, going deep on first down, and incomplete. Good coverage that time on James Thrash. And Will Allen with the coverage is also a marker down.
You know, and Michael Strahan almost got Donovan McNabb on that play. Just as McNabb was getting rid of the ball, Strahan hit him.
Bill Carollo is the referee.
There is no play prior to the snap, false start. Number 83, offense, 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
That was Jeff Thomason who was moving, so it's first down and 15.
Watch Michael Strahan here. We see John Runyon coming out to block him. Strahan has great leverage. You see what he does? He gets underneath his shoulder pads. You see him underneath there, and then he gives that move and lifts him right up as he goes by him. That's not the way John Runyon wanted to start. That's not the way that Donovan McNabb wanted to start. That's not the way Jeff Thomason wanted to start, nor Andy Reid wanted them to start.
Strahan 22.5 sacks, an NFL record last year, 3.5 this season. To the ground to Deuce Staley. to the chorus of Deuce, and they serenaded him with that chorus all last week. Close to a first down, 14 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 1.
You know, and that's what all offensive linemen want you to do. You know, Andy Reid, the first play, he calls a passing play, and Strahan gets there. The way to calm down a pass rush always has been a run right at him, make him hang in there, and play the run first.
Eagles 5th in rushing, Giants defense 3rd against the rush, and Dorsey Levens, the ex-Packer, picks up the yard to move the chains. First down, Philadelphia. Here's the Giants D.
Michael Strahan, Texas Southern.
Cornelius Griffin, Alabama.
Lance LeGree, Notre Dame.
Kenny Holmes, University of Miami. Brandon Short, Penn State.
Michael Barrow, Miami.
Dhani Jones, the University of Michigan.
Will Allen, Syracuse.
Sean Williams, UCLA. Omar Stoudemire, Fresno State.
William Peterson, Western Illinois.
Allen and Peterson, good corners. McNabb, as he can do so beautifully, so efficiently, so effectively, and so dramatically to the 25-yard line of the Giants.
And as you said, that's where he's so dangerous. You say that you have to contain him, and you usually think of outside. Don't let him get outside, but you can't give him any lane. Watch on this one. He's just going to find a lane right up the middle. Now, he's always looking to throw the ball, but if you give him a lane to throw it, he'll throw it in that lane. But if you give him a lane to run it in, then he has the option of either throwing or running. You see that lane right there? No one kept their lane assignments, and they gave a great big hole to Donovan McNabb.
38 yards, second longest run of his career, back to the ground, and Staley can't get on track. Hit in the backfield, first by Cornelius Griffin. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, I think we have to mention right here that the Giants are playing without Keith Hamilton, who tore his Achilles tendon in their last game. They had a bye last week, but it was 2 weeks ago now. And every time that I ever saw the Giant defense play, you know, the line, when they dominated, it was always Michael Strahan and Keith Hamilton doing the dominating.
Now they have Lance LeGree taking over for Hamilton. Johnny Lynn is the defensive coordinator, taking over for John Fox, who became the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. 2nd and 11. As McNair checks off, and the Eagles move on the left side. That's Trey Thomas, the Pro Bowl left tackle, moving.
Big old lineman. Once you get down there, you can only sit so long.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 72, offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Didn't it seem like McNabb was up there for a long time, like he was going up and coming back, and old Trey Thomas was in that stance, and he said, I know, you know, my clock is about to go off, and I have to go here.
I'm sure he was thinking to himself, you can't audible on me now. I've got to go.
I've been up here long enough. We got to start playing some football here.
2nd down and 16, 3 minutes into the game, opening drive of the game. And it is a screen that is nearly intercepted into the gut of Michael Strahan. And Strahan angry with himself, and then will put his shoe back on for what should have been, in his mind, an interception.
Well, you know, it happens is watch John Runyon. He's going to try and cut Michael Strahan here. See, that's what you try and do to get the defensive end's hands down so you can throw the screen over him. You see, he cuts him, but Michael Strahan knows that. He goes down, and then he bounces right back up. That's why he's such a great player. I mean, you know, that I would think if I were going to try and do those things, I think I'd do them away from Michael Strahan.
Definitely. 3rd down and 16. Fake to Dorsey Levens. McNabb buys time. Scrambling. Looking downfield. And then he'll just throw it away. So he throws it away, and that will set up a 50 or 51-yard field goal attempt for one of the best place kickers in the league, David Akers.
Well, that's just, they've had enough of Michael Strahan, so they're going to keep their tight end Chad Lewis in there, and they're going to double team him, and then they're going to bootleg to that side, trying to find a lane to throw to the backside. There was no lane there. There was no one open, but they did double team Michael Strahan.
David Akers has not missed a kick. He is 12 for 12, 50-yard attempt. And the left footer will miss. Started out as if it was going to be good, and then it just hung and came up short. So he misses for the first time this season, and the Giants get the ball at their own 33. ABC's Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Madden NFL 2003 from EA Sports. It's in the game. Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. BU, nothing's better. Dr. Pepper. Mitsubishi Outlander. Prepare for what's down the road. Are you in? And Coors Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Cold down easy. Aerial coverage provided by Southwest Airlines. Giants have it. Their first offensive play from their 40 to the 42 is a 2-yard run by Tiki Barber. Southwest Airlines providing that shot into Veterans Stadium, home of the Phillies and the Eagles in '71. Eagles move across the parking lot next year. The Phillies play one more season here, and then they move into their new park, also across the parking lot in 2004. Ron Dane is in the backfield. They give it to the Heisman Trophy winner from Wisconsin. Picks up about 3 as we take a look at the Giant offense.
Kerry Collins, Penn State.
Tiki Barber, UVA.
Charles Stackhouse, Ole Miss.
Amani Toomer, Michigan.
Ike Hilliard, Florida. Dan Campbell, Texas A&M University.
Luke Pettigrew, Notre Dame. Rich Sloybert, Western Illinois.
Chris Bober, Nebraska, Omaha.
Dusty Ziegler, Notre Dame.
Mike Rosenthal, Notre Dame.
3rd and 5 right now. Jeremy Shockey, the Giants rookie tight end, is active, but not in the starting lineup tonight. In uniform. 3rd down and 5, and the pass is incomplete. Falling down was Tim Carter, their number 2 draft choice out of Auburn, and maybe the fastest Giant in years. Jim Fossil said the fastest he's had since he's been with the Giants.
You know, and that's what the Giants have always needed. You know, you have to have something that doesn't let defensive coordinators sleep at night, and that's speed. And the Giants for years haven't had the guy that really scares you. And the last few years, the only guy that a defensive coordinator will talk about being afraid of is Tiki Barber.
Matt Allen is the Giants punter. Brian Mitchell, more punt return yardage than anyone in NFL history. Still dancing, still showing the moves that brought him to that level. And he gets tackled up at the 18-yard line by Dhani Jones. 4:40 into the game in Philadelphia. 0-0. No score in Philadelphia. The Eagles are backed up after the punt at their own 17-yard line. The Eagles have had a lot of long drives this season. They've had 19 drives that have started inside their 20 and scored a touchdown on 7 of them, and that's the best rate in the NFL. So here they are from their 17 with all of their weapons, and they begin on the ground. They begin with Staley, and Staley picks up about 7 to the 24, where Dhani Jones makes the stop.
You know, in the way that Michael Strahan started, he was raising havoc with this Eagle offense. Maybe they decided, let's go to the other side. Here in the first play of the game, he puts Donovan McNabb down. Then they decide they're going to throw a screen pass over him, and he just knocks the ball down. Then they decided, if we're going to throw it, we better double team. And that's exactly what they did on that last 3rd down play.
Second and 3. They send Staley in motion. They pitch it back to Brian Westbrook, a rookie out of Villanova, picked in the 3rd round and picks up the 1st down.
You know what they're doing now? They're running away from Michael Strahan. And then the other thing we're showing here, here's what they have to do is they have to double him. If you put a tight end out there, then that widens him out. And that makes him take a wide route so that you can throw the 3-step drop. Now the 5-step drop, you keep the tight end to the outside, you keep your tackle running to the inside, and you get this type of thing. That's what they did on the last series, and I think we're going to see more and more of that tonight.
They'll never escape their attention. 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line, and Deuce Staley picks up a yard. Up to the 34, 2nd down for the Eagles, who come in after that win against Tampa. And then next week, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, Andy Reid calling the plays. He has the first 15 scripted. He says he's going to have more run. Usually he'll pass 60% of the time and run 40%. That's balanced, Andy Reid. He said in this game he wants to start off with a little more run.
Eagles next week to Champaign, Illinois to take on the Bears, as that pass is incomplete, intended for the fullback Cecil Martin, with Dhani Jones, the linebacker, draped all over him. So 3rd down and 9. Donovan McNabb just redid his contract. I mean, they throw all kinds of numbers out and all this 12-year deal, 10. Well, you know, it's a lot of money and a long time. It's as simple as that.
And I think it just proves how many franchise quarterbacks are in the NFL. And Jeffrey Lurie, there, the owner of the Eagles, decided that Donovan McNabb is his franchise quarterback, and he wants him as long as he's going to play.
3rd down and 9. McNabb steps up, slings it to the outside. Looked like lost control of the ball as Dorsey Levens was the intended receiver. 4th down.
And that's exactly what happened. That ball did get away from him. Watch Michael Strahan here, and you can see John Runyon start on him. And then Dorsey Levens is going to come over and help right there at the end. In fact, on that one, it was Mayberry came over to right guard.
Sean Landetta, who is about as old as dirt, kicking to Delvin Joyce, but still as effective as always, as the 40-year-old sends one to Joyce for the fair catch, and the Giants will get it back with 8:17 left in the opening period.
Are you ready for some football?
Next week we go to Green Bay. The Packers had the bye week. Brett Favre is on the mend against the Dolphins. It is still anticipated by the Packers that Brett will play. Actually went down during the bye week to Mississippi. He's being treated at Southern Mississippi. Goes back to Green Bay tomorrow. They'll examine him, and we should see him Monday night.
And yeah, I mean, if you know Brett Favre, there's no way that he's going to miss a game.
1st and 10 from the 20-yard line as Barber takes it to the outside and picks up just 1. And let's take a look at the Philly defense.
Brandon Whiting, California. Corey Simon, Florida State. Darwin Walker, Tennessee.
Hugh Douglas, Central State University.
S. Barber, University of Richmond, VA.
LaVon Kirkland, Clemson.
Carlos Emmons, Arkansas State University. Troy Vincent, Wisconsin.
Blaine Bishop, Old School. Brian Dawkins, Clemson.
Bobby Taylor, Notre Dame.
2nd and 9. Halfway through the period, we still do not have a yard passing for either team. Still won't, as Collins throws it into the Eagle bench. 3rd down and 9. Collins has played against the Philadelphia Eagles through the years, and as you can see, John, has never had a pass intercepted in his games against Philadelphia, which includes 6 regular season and a postseason game.
I think that the Eagle defense is so aggressive, and you know that they're going to come after you. And Kerry Collins is a type of guy that isn't going to do something stupid. He'll take a sack, he'll take a loss, he'll throw the ball away rather than throw an interception. You don't get a lot of first downs that way. You don't get a lot of touchdowns that way, but you don't throw interceptions. Still looking for the first completion of the game for either team. Still don't have one. On 3rd down, pass intended for Amani Toomer. So in this pass-crazy 2002 season, Collins starts out 0 for 3. McNabb starts out 0 for 4. Yeah, and the early part of this, you know, is I think both of these quarterbacks are a little nervous, a little antsy, a little jumpy, and I think the defenses early are dominating. So it's part them not being in any kind of rhythm yet, and they're 2 pretty good defense. Each team has had the ball twice. Matt Allen to boot it. Short kick. Mitchell's going to let it bounce. And then it skids out of bounds at the 38-yard line. With 7:23 left in the opening period at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Eagles with the ball. No score. They tell me on Halloween there's nothing scarier for a dad than his daughter's boyfriend. A frightfully funny 8 simple rules, part of Scary Tales Tuesday, right here on ABC. Trailer MVP, the Philly fans, they've been great through the years. It wouldn't be bad, except it would have to be a weight problem, though. What's a horse weigh? 1,000 pounds. Yeah, see, that's all we can carry on the trailers. We can cheat it a little. We can go to 1,200 pounds. That's it. McNabb throws, first completion of the game to Todd Pinkston.
Donovan McNabb and Pinkston a little slow in getting up. McNabb's second overall choice in the '99 draft. That's when Cleveland started with Tim Couch. Then the Eagles, the fans wanted them to draft Ricky Williams, the running back, and they picked McNabb out of Syracuse. And Cincinnati went for Akili Smith. And when you look at it right now, down the line at this particular point, McNabb the best of the three. Couch clearly second, and then Smith.
Yeah, and that's exactly. I mean, the Eagles obviously did the right thing, and then you have to have a quarterback in this league. They're going to have one for a long time.
Got a pretty good running back in Deuce Staley, just like last week. Staley is out of bounds, forced out by Omar Stoutmire at the 31-yard line. Last week, 152 yards on the ground. That gained 23, and the Deuce has already picked up 44 in the period.
Watch your left guard here, John Welborn, and watch the job that he does on the green. You see, he just takes that whole side and just moves it down to the right, and then Deuce Staley comes up and cuts right off that. The other thing that helped that play was they faked the reverse. They faked the reverse to hold the backside. Welborn on the onside makes a heck of a block.
From the 31-yard line, McNabb under pressure and gets buried. The Giants on a jailbreak, and it was Mike Barrow along with Michael Strahan who came in. We'll see how they rule it in terms of who gets the sack or if they divvy it up.
It was funny that Donovan McNabb was looking to his left, and that was the pressure when it first started, and then it came from the right and then the middle. Watch him. He's going to come back here, fake the play pass, look to the left, and then he feels the pressure right up the middle and from his right. Said here's Strahan on John Runyon again. He just goes right around him, and then that along with Mike Barrow coming right up the middle.
Each of them get a half sack, and now through the middle they hand the ball off to Brian Westbrook. Westbrook, a guy Andy Reid knew well because Andy follows college football. Westbrook played at Villanova here in town. He got to see some of his games. He said, I like this kid, and drafted him.
Yeah, we talked about John Welborn on the last play. Watch center Hank Fraley and Jermaine Mayberry, the center and the right guard right here. You see that block right there? Fraley, the center, stays with hit guy, you know, the old body on body, hat on hat type of deal. And Westbrook runs right by them both.
3rd down and 5 now from the New York 26. Toss it back to Levens. And the longtime Packer with his shoulder may have picked up the first, but they're going to spot it just a little bit shy as Kenny Holmes stops him there, just shy of the marker at the 21-yard line.
You know, for years they never pulled the center. You always pulled your guards. Once in a while you'd pull a tackle. That time old Hank Fraley was out there pulling. They pulled both Welborn, the left guard, and the center, you know, to lead out there. Watch this. This has to be a sight as you see these guys pull out to this side. Watch the snap, and then you see the pull. See, watch old Jiggles coming there. Jiggle, 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 and he gets there just a little late.
Well, he did. Actually, they spotted it close to the 20. They gave him a great spot, and he picks up a first down. Just outside the 20-yard line, and that pass is caught on the far sideline by James Thrash, who picked up about 8 to the 13-yard line. So Levens got a great spot to move the chains.
And Andy Reid just called a play where McNabb could move. You look in there, on his first 15 plays, he had 9 runs and got 107 yards out of it. He had 6 passes, and he said he was going to do that. He said in his first 15 it was heavy run to see what was going on there, and he looks like there's something pretty good going on there. Although Andy does have a tough time staying with the run.
Only 1 completion, though, in those first 15 plays. Staley to the outside again. It's taken down at about the 11-yard line. 3rd and short upcoming. Frank Ferreira, the end, making the tackle for the Giants.
Deuce Staley was saying last week after he gained 150 yards that he thinks they ought to do that more often, and that more of it can go on their shoulders and the offensive line, the running backs, and take some off of Donovan McNabb. He said then he won't have to play so hard he throws up during those games. That's his goal is to play hard enough and run well enough that McNabb doesn't throw up during the game.
Where was it that Donovan threw up in, was it Jacksonville?
Yeah,
at the end of the game.
It was in Jacksonville, yeah. I mean, that was just, he plays so hard, and he has, what's that thing back there? I think Andy Reid said he has a uvula that is a little shaky. and he tends to throw up a little quicker than most.
Two nice spots here for the Eagles on this drive, and that's a first down. Ty goes to the runner there. If the nose of the ball touches the stick, first down.
I like what the Eagles are doing now. You know, as you said, they were able to, you know, to run the ball, to get some things going. They only completed one pass, but now that they have the running game going, it's going to be easier to get to the passing.
And they love to pass in the red zone. This is where Andy Reid loves to pass.
Well, in the empty backfield, it's either going to be a McNabb run or a pass.
The pass looked like it might have been tipped and then almost intercepted, intended for Thrash, and Will Allen almost came up with the ball at the 2-yard line.
Andy Reid in this situation loves to throw on first down. He said of all the situations you have in football, inside the red zone, which is inside the 20, on first down is the best throwing down that you have. Of course, he had to throw, and he called the play, and it went right off Thrash's hands. I wouldn't be surprised if he came back with a run here.
And he does with Staley. Staley only gets a yard and a half to the 8-yard line with under 3 minutes to play in the period. It'll be third down and 8 in the red zone. In his career, the ratio is close to 15-1, and that's the second highest since he came into the league, second to Jeff Garcia.
And you know who's going to be high in that from now on is Michael Vick.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about a guy that is fun to watch and can do so many of those things. I mean, you just get the ball in his hands and somehow it's going to get in the end zone. Donovan McNabb's a lot like that.
He'll be high in a lot of categories. Fake give to the fullback. Then McNabb is chased by Strahan, eludes him, throws, and it's incomplete. Intended for Todd Pinkston, who was covered at the goal line.
Yeah, and that was the second time that they ran that play on third down. The first series they had the ball, it's a bootleg where he fakes the run to the left, and he's going to bootleg out. You see, he fakes a run in there to Deuce Staley, then he bootlegs out here. Now what he's looking for is a lane to throw back across the field, because he has 2 deep routes back across the field. They were both covered.
Now a 27-yard attempt for David Akers, who missed earlier from 50, and that had been his first miss of the season. This one is good. The Eagles have run 21 plays to only 6 for the Giants and lead 3-0. Tuesday, you ready for 2 funny women in one night? Then you're ready for all new episodes of Life with Bonnie and Less Than Perfect. Tuesday, otherwise known as Mañana, right here on ABC. Michael Strahan has been on the field a lot. As we say, the Eagles have run 21 plays, so they've dominated the first period, but it's only 3-0 on the scoreboard. And now the Eagles with Akers descended down to the Giants, fielded at the 9-yard line by Tim Carter, and the Auburn speedster brings it back up to the 32-yard line. Philadelphia, the final Monday night game ever at the Vet. The Liberty Bell, of course, the primary feature. We picked up our replicas of those today, John. A little ceremony, a little pep rally downtown.
Yep, including the crack in the Liberty Bell. There's a lot of tradition here. You know, you think of Philadelphia, and you just drive down the streets and you're in the city, and just seems there's so much history and tradition that you know, you felt that someplace in another life maybe you were here.
Good town. I've always loved coming here. Ike Hilliard, the intended receiver. Collins started to stumble on the way back. You know, Jim Fossa was telling Melissa at the outset tonight that he wanted to establish the run game. Well, here we are almost at the end of the first period. They've run the ball 3 times for 6 yards.
Well, they haven't established anything. Collins hasn't completed a pass yet, has he?
0 for 4.
Well, you said he stumbled on that one. He's been stumbling this whole first quarter. This Giant offense has been stumbling this whole first quarter. 2nd and 10. They give it to Dane, and he looks like he started to stumble as well.
This is, I think they call this next turf. It's a different turf. They put it in a couple of years ago. Of course, this stadium is going to be imploded in a couple of years. They don't spend a lot of money on it. And it looks like it's snowing or sleeting or whatever it is. But it's just ugly. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, it's ugly, but it's a lot better than it used to be. I mean, it used to be ugly, and it used to be hard, and it used to be the worst field in all of football, but this is much softer and a lot better field.
Ain't no Persian rug. 3rd and 7, and that is caught, and that's a first down. So their first completion moves the chains as Amani Toomer makes the catch, and the Giants have a first down.
Yeah, and I think Amani Toomer on that play slipped. He's the outside guy up here, the flanker, and he's going to come down and run a slant right there. And just as he caught the ball, it looked like his feet just slid out. I know the Giants came here and had a walkthrough or a practice yesterday, and the big reason was to decide what footwear to wear.
From the 43, Collins guns it over the middle and hits Jeremy Shockey, the tight end, who missed last week's game with a toe injury. Came out of the Dallas game early with that injury, and he's been, of course, a source this week of controversy. Talked about the Eagles secondary not being very good, and so he's greeted by some boos. And also Bill Carollo now gets together with the back judge with a flag down.
And the thing that the Giants did on that play is they had a blitz coming from their right, and they picked it up. It's going to go against the Giants, but that's going to be a big test. Is if you can keep guys in, if you can pick up their blitz, then the Eagles won't blitz as much.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting. On number 80, offense. After the first down, it'll be 1st and 10, 15 yards from the spot of the dead ball.
Oh, how much does the crowd love that?
Yeah, and Jim Fossil knows, and Jeremy Shockey's going to learn. I mean, you have to play with emotion, and you have to play, but you make a play, just go back to the huddle. That's all you have to do, and eventually you learn that. Now as a rookie, and the way Jeremy Shockey is, players are going to talk to him too, and they're going to start the taunt, but you can't finish the taunt. Now that didn't look like a real bad taunt.
No, but we've seen more verbal taunts this year than ever before. At least called as Barber takes off, chased by Taylor, and then forced out of bounds by Blaine Bishop. So there's the running game getting established with Tiki Barber springing loose for 31.
And that's the thing that the Giants practiced on this week, is they thought, Jim Fossil thought that you could start the run to the right and there would be a cutback lane back here on this left side. In fact, we have that, 7 days, whatever, or 7 days a week.
To Monday, 7 days
to Monday, yeah. And during that, they practiced on this play, and Jim Fossil told Tiki Barber, I think when we start to the right, I think there will be a cutback there.
Giants' longest rush of the year, 31 yards. End of the period. Eagles on top by 3, and Monday Night Football returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Aerial coverage provided by Southwest Airlines over South Philadelphia Veterans Stadium. Capacity more than 60,000. Downtown Philadelphia, a few miles to the north up Broad Street. Temperature in the upper 40s right now. The Eagles, with a great running game in the first quarter, have become the first team in the league this season to rush for 100 or more yards in the first quarter. And here we are at the end of week 8.
And the Giants are in that area that they were worried about. They're right there at the 20-yard line, which is the start of the red zone, and being inconsistent in this area. Jim Fossil wanting to run more here.
Starts with a run. Barber turns the corner, picks up a couple, forced out by the cornerback Troy Vincent. Makes the acquaintance of somebody in the front row. Gain of 2.
And I'm sure someone in the front row had something to say to him. But that's the thing with the Giants is, you talk to any defensive coordinator, and like Jim Johnson, the defensive coordinator of the Eagles, will talk about the Giants, said the one guy we worry about, the one guy that we can't let beat us is Tiki Barber, and he's the one guy on the Giants that plays all the time that has speed.
2nd down and 8. Collins, low throw, nice catch. Good catch by Charles Stackhouse, the rookie fullback from Mississippi, stopping, reaching down, but a flag is down. It's against the Eagles, and that's going to be an automatic first down.
defensive holding, and it is an automatic first down. You see Andy Reid there. He's working on the plays that he's going to get the next time
holding,
he gets the ball.
51, defense, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, first down.
Carlos Emmons. Eagles with a great running game. There it is, 116 rushing yards and only 6 yards through the air. Go figure that. First down for Collins and the gang at the 13-yard line. Barber inside the 10, stop him at about the 8 following Stackhouse's block.
You know, as I've watched the Giants over the years, I've thought that, you know, when they've had problems in the red zone, I think one of the reasons is they take Tiki Barber out, or Tiki Barber runs a couple of plays and takes himself out, you know, on a long run. I think that you know, you think, well, Ron Dane, you get inside the 20 goal line, you get your big running back in there. I don't think so. I think you keep Tiki Barber in there until you score a touchdown from the red zone all the way through the goal line.
Keeps him in here, offset on 2nd down and 6 from the 9. Give it to him on an inside handoff, and the play is broken up very nicely by Corey Simon, the defensive tackle, to trip him up at about the 7.
Corey Simon makes that saving play too. I mean, that's the thing, that there was a little delay, a little draw play in there, and the thing that you're always trying to stop is penetration. And you see Corey Simon get the penetration, push his blocker back, and then come off the block. Now, if you're going to be consistent in the red zone in making touchdowns, 3rd down has to be a big down. You have to make a play here.
3rd down and 5. They split Shockey to the right. That's Shockey motioning as he comes to the inside, and the pass is a quick flip to Dixon that's too low. 4th down, covered by Taylor, and the Giants will have to settle for a field goal attempt.
What they tried to do is spread everyone out and then just get that quick slant. Here you see Ron Dixon coming in the slant, and the ball was not only thrown low, but it was thrown behind him. I mean, there was no chance at anyone catching that, including the defender, who was Bobby Taylor.
Matt Bryant played at Baylor. He was a pawnbroker. Then Owen Potchman got hurt. He got the job. Hasn't missed all season. Still hasn't. 26-yarder is good. He is 11 for 11 as they work on Shockey's toe, but the Giants have tied it early in the 2nd quarter in Philadelphia.
Right here is payback from way back. I don't play that. You gotta get them up.
In Philadelphia, Al Michaels, John Madden, Melissa Stark, Jeremy Shockey riding the bike. His team has just tied the game 3-3.
They were checking his knee a little while ago. Of course, it's his left toe that's a problem. In fact, he's wearing a bigger shoe on his left foot that it just came off in that last drive, a size 14 on his left, where the bad toe is taped, and a 13 on the right.
Giants, who had come to the 30-yard line collectively, then spread out, and the kick is taken by Mitchell. There's a penalty marker. Brings it up to the 44-yard line. In fact, there are 2. There's a flag down at the 22, and there's one at the 44. We know for certain it's coming back.
Yeah, and that's the one at the 22, and that was a holding, and that was a play right where
Holding.
Mitchell broke.
58 during the return, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Ike Reese. Andy Reid was the quarterback's coach at Green Bay when he got the job here, his first head coaching job here. Of course, he was another pup out of Mike Holmgren, somebody on that staff, with Mariucci now, of course, in San Francisco. John Gruden went to Oakland, now at Tampa Bay. Andy Reid.
And they all kind of remind you of Mike Holmgren too, don't they? You know, and
especially
Andy Reid has so many of Mike Holmgren's mannerisms. Sometimes if you close your eyes, you think you're talking to Mike.
From the 12-yard line, McNabb buys time, slings it. It is dropped, incomplete. Chad Lewis never had possession, incomplete.
You know, the one thing that McNabb likes to do, if he's going to move and scramble or bootleg, is come out to this right side. And the bad thing about it, that's the side that Michael Strahan is. But you see what John Runyon does to him? He gets him there, and then he gets moved, and then he goes down and he kicks him with that left foot. But that's a move that Michael Strahan, in fact, John Runyon says the only guy that made that move on him other than Strahan was Reggie White.
Holmes was getting face masked on that play as well. That pass intended for Thrash is incomplete. And Michael Strahan had back spasms. He was bothered with back spasms in the Giants' last game against Atlanta 15 days ago. And he's been getting therapy and rehabbing it and getting massages. And he was talking about it yesterday, saying, well, it's not too bad, but it's bad enough that he's out right now.
Well, what happened, he said, in that game, his pelvis shifted, and he was crooked, and he was kind of sideways, and then he couldn't feel his legs.
3rd and 10, and McNabb will take off. And Donovan up to the 24-yard line. And when you have Donovan McNabb, it's almost never 3rd and long in a conventional sense.
Yep, and they take Michael Strahan out, and that's right where Donovan McNabb runs. What they do is they get the end up the field on this side, and you see that lane right there. When this end comes wide, and then they pin the tackle on the line of scrimmage, there's always a great lane to either throw the ball in that lane or run it, and it was right where Michael Strahan would have been.
Frank Ferrara, for the moment, spelling Strahan. Deuce Staley with some tough inside running up to the 28-yard line.
I don't know if that was the thing with Michael Strahan, is if that was the back that bothered him before, or if he got hurt on that play. He made a good move on John Runyon, and then Runyon kind of came down on him and kind of kicked with his left leg. Doesn't look like it's his back. But that injury that he was telling us about, I'd never heard of that one, where his pelvis got out of joint.
Your hip rises up. One hip is higher than the other. Levens taking off into the secondary. Tackled at midfield.
I think the Giants better get Michael Strahan back in there, because the Eagles are taking an advantage of him. I mean, that's the same hole that Donovan McNabb just ran the play before, and this time it's Dorsey Levens. Start here and cut right back into this area. That's the same place that Donovan McNabb ran. You see right there, and then right back in that gap. They hit that gap twice. Here's what it looks like to the umpire. He sees the flow go away, and then he sees the cut back, and he says, that's way too big a lane.
24-yard gain. Now McNabb airs it out, and just off the fingertips of Todd Pinkston. What about Strahan? Melissa, what do you know?
Well, Al, he had a stinger in his left shoulder. The trainers massaged it out, and obviously he returned to the game. And also, we have an injury update on Jeremy Shockey. They were checking out his knee, as you said. They said that's fine, that he will return. What's clearly bothering him, though, is that sprained left big toe. I talked to him before the game, and he said it is hurting. I don't know how long I'll be able to play.
Well, there he is. Of course, the defense is on the field at the moment. Strahan is now back. 2nd down and 10. Philadelphia at the 48-yard line. 10.5 until the half. They give it to Brian Westbrook. Chased by Holmes. Cuts back inside and gets to the 43-yard line. Tackled there by William Peterson. So right now on the ground, McNabb has 51 yards rushing. Staley has 51. Levens has 30. Westbrook has 29. They have 4 guys with 29 or more yards rushing.
You know, and that's a good start for the Eagles, because what that means is, you know, once they get you doing that, then they get you play and run, they get you staying at home, you know, taking those cutback gaps away and doing all those things. Then you don't rush, and then the passing is going to come a lot easier later.
3rd and 5. Giants show blitz, and then McNabb gets the ball away quickly and hits Todd Pinkston, and that's going to be enough for a 1st down.
One of the things that McNabb is doing better this year, and Andy Reid talked about it, and so did McNabb, is being able to place the ball. And sometimes you want to place it on the front shoulder, and sometimes you want to place it on the back shoulder. Now watch on this pattern here. He's gonna place it on Pinkston's back shoulder. You see, when the defender is inside, you don't want to lead him to the inside. You want to put it on his back shoulder so that he can reach back away from the defender.
1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Fake end around. After the fake to the back, McNabb goes by Holmes, breaks a tackle, and then gets finally ridden out of bounds at the 23-yard line by Allen.
That's where McNabb is so good. You know, that he has such a great feeling, but when he runs fast. And he runs faster than you can. Kenny Holmes is out there. I mean, he fakes that thing, then he's going to bootleg, and now he just outruns those guys. See, Holmes is there. Holmes has containment, but he's just too fast for him.
Looks like a pure running back. 6'2", 225. 3 carries tonight for 65 yards. This season, the Giants have not given up until tonight more than 113 yards rushing in a game. The Eagles tonight have rushed for 175 yards in a quarter and a half, and now add a few more as Deuce Staley takes it inside the 20.
You know, we were talking about Jim Fossil and what he was saying and telling his team during practice. The other thing that he says is we have to contain McNabb. Well, every team comes in like they have to contain McNabb. And you know, that play, I mean, it wasn't bad, but he just outruns him. I mean, he's just too fast for him.
2nd and 5 from the 19-yard line. Here is Levens to the 16-yard line. Here's what Jim Fossil had to say about what John was just talking about.
We got to contain him. All right? Don't let him out of the pocket. We better keep him in the pocket. If we don't keep him in the pocket, it's going to be a long night.
You know, that old thing of knowing what you have to do and doing what you have to do are two totally different things, aren't they?
How could he have figured that this was going to happen? At this point, the Eagles would have 182 yards on the ground and 12 in the air. 3rd and 3. Strahan can't sack him. And Donovan looking for the chain and may have picked it up.
He just looks like a kid out there playing, doesn't he? I mean, this is when you get control of a game, when you can do these kinds of things. And as you said, Al, I think that running has started it all. I mean, running has made this Giant defense get back in their heels. It made them, kind of play their gaps. And now McNabb can just kind of have their way. And again, we talk about how fast he is, but he's also very strong. You don't tackle him with an arm.
Most exciting plays, I think, John, have always been street plays. It's just a street play right there.
And a street play and a guy smiling and having fun. And that last little kick dip thing that he made there, he just looked like that's something he'd do in the street, before you hit the gutter.
Going to measure as they have to bring the chains all the way across the field. Line of scrimmage is going to be the 13. He's got it.
Well, he knew he had it. I mean, that little move, he was looking right at the marker out there, and he knew where he had to go, and he just kind of jumped it right to that point.
Cornelius Griffin is getting the attention there. Remember, they were already minus Keith Hamilton for the season. Matt Mitrione has to come in now to replace him. Of course, Strahan has been out of the game for a few plays. He's back in. There's Matt.
I tell you, the Eagles are doing a lot of damage running-wise in the middle and that left side.
Now to the right side. Saley does 4 more yards worth of damage, taking it to the 9-yard line.
You see John Runyon there, right there at the end, coming on that pile. That's the thing that the officials are looking out for this year, and they had kind of gotten into football quite a bit, and they tried to get away from it. But John Runyon, number 69, is an aggressive guy. I mean, he is going to battle you, and he is going to fight you. And he said they don't blow the whistle anymore, so you can't play until the whistle blows. So he was just out of that pit. He buried someone on his way down, too.
2nd and 6. This is the 14th play on this drive that started back at their own 12-yard line. McNabb is going to throw that one away. Everybody's covered. Pressure was on. 3rd down.
And that time they did double Michael Strahan. I mean, the Giants' coverage has really been good. I mean, there hasn't been a lot of guys open, but that time was Dorsey Levens. They came over, and they're just looking for Michael Strahan. I mean, they are going to say, okay, you know, you started out being pretty good. Here, Runyon hits him. What Dorsey Levens does to him. Strahan is working there on Runyon, and he comes and he gives him one of those rib shots.
Griffin is back in the game. 3rd down and 6 at the 9-yard line. 4-man rush, and McNabb goes down in the grasp of Kenny Holmes, who says enough's enough.
Yeah, that's the thing. They finally got in their lanes. They didn't give him that big lane, and Kenny Holmes helped it by not getting up the field. The ends on both sides had been getting up the field and too wide and giving him that gap. McNabb thought he was going to get that gap, and it wasn't there.
David Akers 1 for 2 tonight. Made the short one, missed the long one. Contact up front. This would have been a 31-yard attempt. Now it'll be 36 yards.
False start, 74 offense. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Doug Brzezinski moving. So here are the Eagles. I mean, amazingly, this is a team that has rushed for 189 yards in less than 25 minutes and doesn't have a touchdown.
And that's the thing that really frustrates a coach. You know, as you look and we've been doing all this, we're running the ball, we're doing all these things, and until this point right here, we have 3 points.
3 points now, looking to take the lead again. 36-yard attempt. Right down Broad Street. 5:23 to the half. 6-3 Philadelphia, but they've been dominant.
On Halloween, nothing scarier for a dad than his daughter's date.
I think you should wear a bikini and go as hot.
8 Simple Rules, Tuesday at 8, 7 Central on ABC.
College football Saturday. Oklahoma second in the polls, but first in the BCS standings, taking on Colorado. Minnesota, Ohio State, Georgia Tech, NC State, and Arizona State against Washington State. That's the action Saturday, 3:30 Eastern, half past noon Pacific, right here on the American Broadcasting Company. Tim Carter is back. Delvin Joyce as well. Akers sending it skyward into the South Philly night. Dropped again, and then Carter can't show any of his speed. It's all he can do to just come up with a football and repossess it. Looking for him to break one, and instead the Giants have it deep in their own territory. 5:18 to the half. Philadelphia 6, New York 3. Saturday, the Tour Championship from Atlanta, presented by Coca-Cola. Tiger Woods will be there. Phil Mickelson, Ernie Els, Sergio Garcia, all in the field. The Tour Championship this Saturday here on ABC. Giants begin this drive from the 10-yard line. Short drop by Collins, then on the slant to Shockey, and the #1 pick out of Miami takes it up to the 21-yard line.
Okay, calm down now. Calm down. You know, that's a very fine line. I mean, you know, Jeremy Shockey is going to be a heck of a tight end in this league and a good player, and he does all these things that you want. I mean, he can play wide, he can play inside, he can block, and he can be explosive, and he's a dimension that the Giants need, but he just has to calm down. Just calm down a little after the play's over.
1st and 10 from the 21-yard line. Dane. And Dane chugs his way up to the 26-yard line, gain of 5, and let's check in with Melissa.
Well, Jeremy Shockey has certainly made a lot of headlines for himself on and off the field. Jim Fossil told us he is not your typical rookie, and here's a little insight into what kind of guy he is. Back when he was in junior college at Northeastern Oklahoma, Shockey's team lost in the playoffs. And after the game, he was so mad, he was so angry at himself that he picked up dirt from the ground. He actually ate it. He told me he wanted to remember how bad it tasted and never have that taste again. John, he sounds like your kind of player.
Come on up!
That's how you make mud.
Yes, you do. Dane picks up a couple. Well, who was it? It was Tim Rossovich at SC who used to eat glass.
He used to eat light bulbs. Yeah, that was a normal thing. Well, Dimon just grabbed a light bulb off and eat it, have lunch. But you know, the thing with Jeremy Shockey, you know, they say it's a turf toe, and it's really not a turf toe. What it is, it's a ligament. And I think he has a torn ligament in that left toe, and that's something that I don't know is ever going to get better this year. This may be something that he has to play with and gut out all year.
3rd and 5. Collins over the middle, deflected and dropped. It was Shockey in traffic, off his fingertips, got bounced around like a bowling ball, incomplete, and the crowd, of course, loves it.
Because he was saying that he thought that the Philadelphia Eagles secondary wasn't really that good, and they were overrated, and they're beaten a lot, but the blitz gets there and all those types of things. And you see here, the ball is there. He almost makes a heck of a catch. Just as he's about ready to bring it back in, Bobby Taylor hits him.
Matt Allen, a short kick, bouncing near midfield, flag, and it stops at the 46. Bill Carolla will let us know.
Looks like it's against the Eagles. It was way over here on this sideline. The ball was over on the right side, and the flag is over here on this left side, so the penalty was way away from the ball.
31 on the receiving team while the kick was in the air. 10-yard penalty. Receivers to keep the ball. First down. Timeout.
Now Harris, and that's what you need after a little short punt to pick up 10 more. 3:09 to the half. 6-3 Philadelphia. They have the ball. What a difference 6 weeks make. Last time we had the Eagles, we had the cool zone on the sideline in Washington, week 2. Week 8, you get the heaters going.
And there was the pepper spray over the stands into the cool zone that caused that problem with the Eagles.
Absolutely. That was week 2 in Washington when the Eagles looked so good after their loss on opening day to Tennessee. And apparently the Giants' communication from upstairs, the coach's box upstairs, to the coaches downstairs doesn't work. And if that is the case, then both teams have to take off their headsets.
That's what they're talking to Jim Fossil about now. The question comes up, though, when this happens, you have communication between the box up here and the sideline, and then you also have communication between the coach and the quarterback. Now, I don't know that all those systems are out. See, it looks like this system, the coaches in the booth down to the sidelines are out, but I don't know that you can't still use the coach to quarterback one. That's always, that happened a couple weeks ago, and it was a discussion. It looks like they're still using it. See Brad Childress to the left there of Andy Reid.
Mm-hmm.
That headset that he has is the one that talks to Donovan McNabb.
Here is McNabb throwing on first down to Deuce Staley, and gets taken down by Will Allen and Brandon Short after a gain of 7.
And that one is still working, and they can use it. So the one that they can't use is like I said, the coach is talking to the sideline, but they can use the one that is a coach talking to the quarterback. Andy Reid calls the play. Is it to Brad Childress, who's the offensive coordinator, right next to him, and he talks to Donovan McNabb.
2nd down and 2 from the 43-yard line. That's caught by James Thrash at the 49-yard line. You saw Fossil with the headset on, but that shouldn't be working, since the Giants are on defense right now.
It looks like he's trying to figure out if there's someone there, someone to talk to. Again, now there's Brad Childress calling the play, and he's talking into the helmet of Donovan McNabb.
We're going to go to the 2-minute warning after this play as McNabb retreats. McNabb goes deep. The coverage is terrific, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Freddie Mitchell. So the 2-minute warning comes with a $1:55 officially on the clock here at Veterans Stadium. Typical Giants-Eagles matchup. Tough, rough, low scoring. 6-3 Philly. So the halftime show, our feature, 7 days to Monday night. This week, all access, behind the scenes, Coach Jim Fossil.
Last year, they beat us twice, and that flipped their season, and it flipped our season. They cost us everything we wanted last year. I don't want to say that at the end of this year.
He was right, too.
You know, and of all the years and all the Eagle-Giant games that I've seen and been a part of, this is just a typical game, and you just said it. I mean, you know, they're tough, they're hard-hitting, they're close, they're low-scoring, they're defensive battles, crisp tackling, all those kinds of things. And, you know, players change, coaches change, but these two teams always seem to play the same type of game.
They do, except in this one, the one difference is the Eagles have controlled the ball. They've run twice as many plays. They've had the ball twice as long, more than twice as long, and yet they're only up by 3, and that is incomplete. Sean Williams with the coverage on the play, intended for Antonio Freeman, another ex-Packer.
Yeah. I think these two corners are doing a great job. I think the two Wills, Will Allen, Will Peterson, because there really hasn't been a lot open, especially to the wide receivers downfield. I mean, you see out here that they're just blanketing, and they're just all over the receivers of the Eagles, and I think that's been. I mean, the Eagles have been able to run, they've been able to get a few things, but I think the coverage of the Giants secondary has been excellent.
Blitz 3rd and 10. McNabb is 5 out of 17, and he slings it off to Deuce Staley. He's chased by Stoutmeyer and is out of bounds at the 21-yard line. What a play by McNabb to avoid the sack, run up, and still remain behind the line of scrimmage. It was close when he flipped the pass away.
And he kind of threw that one sidearm, and again, you can't give him a lane anywhere. And you're going to see him come back here. There's a blitz, and he's going to find that crease there. You see right there, he finds the crease. Of course, the strength gets him through the crease. Then his awareness gets him the ball and gets it to Deuce Staley.
At the 23-yard line. Timeout is taken defensively by the Giants.
Nothing like the open road.
Yeah, too bad we're out of gas.
Oh, somebody's coming. Hey, buddy, how about a lift?
No riders. Not even for $1? Dollar don't buy much, mister.
It does if you dial 10-10-220.
Yeah, all calls up to 20 minutes are 99 cents.
Yep, and 7 cents a minute after 20.
20 minutes or 99 cents? You bought yourself a ride. You gotta sit in the back.
Great trip? Oh, be quiet.
Dial 10-10-220.
First down for the Eagles. I'm not certain the Giants didn't call that timeout to let the guys upstairs, the replay official and the observer, take another look at how close McNabb was to the line of scrimmage. The line of scrimmage was the 48-yard line. It looked like he did get it away just before he crossed the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, right, and it goes back to the ball again. It's where the ball was when it left his hand. I think it was, as you said, just before he got to the line of scrimmage.
But there's no review upstairs. It's not challengeable inside 2 minutes as the pass is thrown into the poor guy with the marker. Oof, that hurt.
Yeah, but that's what he can do. I mean, you know, throw it to the poor guy with the marker, because once you get outside the tackle box, you can throw the ball away. The poor guy with the marker's saying, "Hi, I'm okay."
Wait, a seal. Ooh, good.
I'll tell you, guys with markers aren't used to the ball, with a ball coming at him with that velocity. In fact, it looked like he put that thing up to protect himself, didn't he?
He did. It's a shield.
You aren't going to hit me.
I heard that sound. I thought for a minute, oh, no. 2nd and 10. And it was Deuce Staley picking up a couple to the 20, tackled by Brandon Short.
And we talk about how the red zone, and Andy Reid is the head coach and obviously the play caller. And he always likes to get down in the red zone and throw on 1st down, then come back and run on 2nd down. But really hasn't been successful because he's been incomplete on 1st down, then 2nd and long. Then he comes back with the run, and then he hasn't, he still gets his 3rd and 6 or 7, which is a passing situation.
3rd and 7 right here. A minute to go in the half. Good protection. Also good secondary work, and then Strahan finally tackles him at about the 18-yard line. And Michael says we'll take a timeout because we're going to conserve some time on the
on the other side here after Akers' field goal attempt.
You know, that was a heck of a play by Michael Strahan, because we've seen where Donovan McNabb has been outrunning defenders all day. Here we see the coverage downfield, and we see that there's nothing there, that they just have him plastered. But watch what Michael Strahan does. Is one thing, he's coming on an inside stunt, but he kept his chase, and then he had the speed to catch him and then tackle him in the open field. Now that, you don't see that a lot. That is one heck of a play. Didn't Michael Strahan have a shirt on his right arm earlier? Did he get that knockoff? He had that blue shirt underneath his left arm and right arm early in the game.
Then he got the stinger.
And then the stinger must have just taken that blue thing right off his whole arm.
.46 seconds remaining now with a 35-yard field goal attempt here. Akers attempting his 4th field goal of the half. Coy Detmer, the backup quarterback, to hold. And he's 3 for 4. So the Eagles tonight, 245 yards of offense in the half, yet they haven't gotten into the end zone. They settled for 3 field goals, 9-3. Monday Night Football from Philadelphia is being brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 37. Pepsi Blue, a fusion of berries with a splash of cola. It's a blue thing. Ford, no boundaries. And Coors Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Cold down easy. Delaware River in the foreground. Philadelphia. Final Monday night game ever at the Vet.
You know, one of the things you say, the Eagles, they move the ball and they only have 9 points. I remember we were playing the Super Bowl, the Minnesota Vikings, and we went downfield and we got a field goal, and went downfield and got another field goal, and I was really upset. We got to get in there, we got to score touchdowns, we can't have field. And Kenny Stabler came up to me and just patted me on the shoulder and said, "Don't worry, John, there's plenty more where those came from." And I think that's what Andy Reid has to be thinking, or someone has to tell Andy Reid, if you can move the ball like that, don't worry about only having 9 points, because they could be plenty more where those came from.
2.5 times the offense, about the same ratio in terms of time of possession. Headsets are working again.
That's quite a job strapping that thing around Andy. I mean, that's a 3-man job. They had 3 guys. They had 3 guys on that deal.
It's like you bring planes in with that gear.
Around the world in how many days?
A few. Akers to kick off. Giants have 1 timeout. Line drive fielded by Tim Carter from the 8, and he gets stripped up at the 23-yard line. Flag. Against the Giants.
Illegal block in the back. 83 on the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Marcellus Rivers. In this past crazy year, I mean, to think about it, McNabb 64 yards through the air, Collins 40. 104 yards of passing offense in the first half composite.
I think that the Giants, we talk about, the Eagles being able to say there's plenty more where that came from. I think the Giants have to figure, geez, that, they did all that to us, and we're only 6 points down. If we can get something going in the second half, we'll be in pretty good shape.
1st and 10 from the 11. They have 1 timeout. Give it to Barber. He's going to pick up the first down up to the 23-yard line.
Bobby Taylor is looking over the sideline to see if they want him to call a timeout, but I think the fact that the Giants got a first down, that you don't want to call a timeout if you're the Eagles.
1st and 10 from the 22. Caught by Barber, and the Giants in a posture right now where they're just happy to go in down by 6, taking no chances. Of course, if you're the Giants, the one thing that will be forever emblazoned in your psyche is what they did against Arizona just before the half about 3 weeks ago.
Well, they just did it right there. I mean, you know, you would think that they would it would just be happy to just go in, but they threw it out there. They threw a 3-yard out.
Yep. And now they'll button it up.
And they've done that before. Now they're going to kneel down. That makes a lot of sense.
They had a pass intercepted, run back for a touchdown against Arizona before the half, and then the Cardinals wound up winning the game. A little pushy-shovey to end the first half here, but the teams will go to the locker room, none the worse for wear. And 4 field goals, 3 of them by the Eagles. All of the scoring. 9-3. Philadelphia coming up next, the Toyota halftime show. 7 days to Monday night with Jim Fossil when we return after this message from the NFL Network from our ABC stations.
Somewhere, a lion's heart beats in a man. Somewhere, a boy puts on number 22 and dreams of breaking your record. Somewhere, the writer of records is sharpening his pencil. Somewhere, the doubters are silent. Somewhere, Walter Payton is smiling.
The Toyota Halftime Show, brought to you by Toyota. Get the feeling. Here now, Al Michaels.
Eagles had the ball for over 20 minutes in the first half, yet couldn't get into the end zone. Still lead the New York Giants. Big NFC East battle. The score 9-3. We've had a lot of fun, you know, with our 7 days to Monday night feature. We featured a number of players. This time we thought we'd turn the tables a bit. Take a look at a coach behind the scenes. 7 days to Monday night with New York Giant coach Jim Fossil.
Go and stop and get a Philly cheesesteak. We're an early team. We start earlier than probably any team in the National Football League. When I get here, I want to be ready. That's why I get here, so I can have some quiet time and look everything over. And then at 11:30, the team is in, and I meet with the team. What I want to see out there today is I want to see tempo. I want us to get back in the rhythm, getting in and out of the huddle, lining up, hustling, moving around. I try to run brisk practices and hold people accountable and move the practice along. Hey, let's go, man. It's the fourth quarter. We got to win this game in the fourth. Red area, 7-on-7 on the bounce. Let's go. Who's walking out here? Are you ever going to practice this year?
Yeah, if y'all clear me. Y'all clear me.
You know, we're playing the Eagles on Monday night.
I know.
You know, they're in our division. You know that paycheck you get?
Yeah.
That's the practice. You play for free because you love that. And we play these guys twice a year. Twice a year, and you got extra time to study. There's no reason for us not to know this opponent better than anybody we play, right? You know, so much of what we do is such a grind with one another, and we're pressing all the time, and it's always business. We don't take time to just sit down and relax a minute. And I think that's healthy. You guys do it with a burger? Yeah. We win, you're eating burgers next week. I usually watch most of the Monday night game here.
Now, are you ready for some football?
When did they start with Cher on Monday Night Football? I must have missed that one. Do they have a guest appearance every week by somebody?
Bill Cowher looms over the Pittsburgh skyline.
Can't argue with Cowher's record on Monday Night Football. 9-0 on Monday night. Our record isn't quite as good. We got to do better on Monday night right now. Tuesday morning, we are all in here at 7 in the morning. Tuesday is all-day game plan. I'm just looking at some of these plays that I think will work real well with them, and we ran the ball pretty well against them in this game. But there's his read right there. He just focused his eyes on that. That's right there. When we're running our best, the thing is a cutback. Bring it back. Oh, bring it back. No. We stay on these guys' backside. We want you to tape light. We get that end guy cut off, which we can in this straight under. We just cave that thing down. It could go right back up the time, or that safety sitting. He ain't gonna make the play. Generally, at a staff meeting, I try to update the coaches on injury situations that I get from the doctors.
Shockey's tried running a bit, so he feels it when he pushes off. From my point of view, looking at the toe, I mean, the swelling's not bad. He's got good mobility, and I don't feel it wobbling over on the side.
I think he'll make it. I think he's going to be fine. We're going to have to rest him. What bothers him when he cuts. I really think he can operate against these guys. You know, we got a better guy than we've ever had. And Kerry's got confidence in him. Last year, they beat us twice. They played better than we did for 60 minutes. No excuses. They played better than we did. And that flipped their season, and it flipped our season. They cost us everything we wanted last year. I don't want to say that at the end of this year. I'll be honest with you, it's been a year, but it's hard for me to spit out last year's game. I can remember it vividly right here. I mean, I can remember us running a play right at the end of the ball game and almost getting it in, but it was a bunch of almost, and almost cost us a lot last year.
7 days to Monday night with Jim Fossil, no doubt in the locker room right now making adjustments. How do you stop the Eagle running game would be the priority. 9-3 Philly at the half.
Hello? Peter, you considered my offer? I'll give you power.
I've got power.
I'll give you riches. Riches?
I've got riches.
All right, I'll leave it.
Now you can buy luxury without selling your soul. The 2003 Camry, the most irresistible Camry we've ever built.
I don't know if anyone's seeing this, but the key to this whole game is spaces and punctuation count. Don't count the first episode. Then, 5th place first, 9th first, 5th, 7th, 4th first, 2nd, 7th, 5th, and 2nd places in order. I'm gonna have to disappear for a while. We are all being manipulated. Keep up the fight. Good luck.
Fathers want their sons to be the best, and they'll do whatever it takes to show them the way.
Okay, that's what you were doing.
But sometimes even fathers need advice.
Does Max even like baseball? Well, he likes baking brownies in the shape of baseballs.
Hey, that's how I started.
All-star, all-new George Lopez, ABC Wednesday.
33 seasons on the air, and 2 weeks from tonight when Oakland is at Denver, it'll be the 500th Monday night of this series. And of course, we've been looking back at some of the great games. We've narrowed it to 5. Here's one of them, which was really partially Tuesday morning football. Since 2 years ago, it ended at 1:17 in the morning. Jets, Dolphins. Who can forget? It's the NFL's version of a big Broadway opening because first place is on the line when the Miami Dolphins beat the New York Jets on ABC's Monday Night Football. It was the miracle at the Meadowlands the night then he touched a birdie, led one of the great comebacks in NFL history. Down 30-7 at the start of the 4th quarter, the Jets were suddenly only 7 points down. Going to the end zone. Can he make the catch? Yes! But Miami came right back with a big play of its own. Fiedler. And he's going for 6 into the end zone. It's wide open as Shepard. Touchdown Miami. Then back came the Jets again. Fake to Martin, then a dump, and it is juggled and caught by Jumbo Elliott. The Jets scored 30 points in the 4th quarter and beat the Dolphins in overtime, 40-37. Remember, you can decide which of these games is the greatest in Monday night history. Log on to ESPN.com. The keyword is MNF or NFL.com. And vote now.
I came here tonight to hear the crowd go. Boom, shake, shake, shake the room. Boom, shake, shake, shake the room. Boom, shake, shake, shake the room. Tick, 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 boom. Yeah. Boom, shake, shake, shake the room. Boom, shake, shake, shake the room. Boom, shake, shake, shake the room. Break it on down.
And back on this last Monday night in October, Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Al Michaels, John Madden, Melissa Stark, 9-3. Philadelphia with the Giants to receive. Delvin Joyce and Tim Carter are back. David Akers sending it north to south. Delvin Joyce from the 11. And Joyce brings it out past the 40-yard line, tackled at about the 44 by Michael Lewis. And let's check in with Melissa.
Well, I talked to Jim Fossil at the half, and he said, we want to run the ball in the second half. We just have to stay patient. And I asked him about Jeremy Shockey's unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, remember, that he had in the first half. And he said, I went up to him, I said, listen, I know you're a competitive guy, but knock it off. We can't have that. Defensively, he said, we're getting out of our lanes. We have to stay disciplined. And he echoed John's sentiments. He said, listen, this is a flip of our first game last year on Monday night, so that gives him hope. Remember, the Eagles won that one.
Well, they're very much in the game despite being dominated by Philadelphia in time of possession and in rushing as Tiki Barber gets taken down by
Carlos Emmons. And the numbers will reflect what Philadelphia has done.
Well, that big thing is that 245 yards rushing. Look at the time of possession, over 20 minutes, 195 yards rushing. I mean, it seems like, you know, they were able to move the ball up and down the field, but, you know, again, they got down there and something would happen and they didn't get it in the end zone, and now the Giants have pretty good field position.
And that's knocked down. Collins' pass knocked down by Emmons, but the Giants trying to do something with that field position created by that run back by Joyce. 3rd and 10.
Yeah, 2 good plays in a row by Carlos Emmons there. First he made the tackle, then he knocked that one down. And this is, you know, as you were just saying, that the Giants needed field position. They finally get good field position, and then they get stuffed on a run. They try and pass and get it knocked down right at the line of scrimmage.
Collins is 4 of 11 for 44 yards. 3rd and 10. Eagles rush only 4, but that's enough. Collins throws it out of bounds. Intended for Amani Toomer. Hugh Douglas was putting on the backside pressure, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, you're right. And Kerry Collins got hit by Hugh Douglas just as he threw that ball. Luke Pettigrew had done a pretty good job in the first half, I think, against Hugh Douglas. Here he is right here, and you're going to see him just start on a bull rush. He just knocks Pettigrew right to his knees and comes back and hits Kerry Collins right after he throws it.
Classic bull rush. And it's dropped. It is dropped by Matt Allen, who's going to take off with it. And he's going to put his shoulder down and get a 1st down at the 42. So the Giants, who looked like they were going to have a disaster on their hands, all of a sudden get the biggest break of the night.
Only a punter could do something like that. He takes the ball. It was a perfect snap. It was right in his hands, and then he just drops it right in front of him. And again, this artificial turf, it'll take a bounce for you. And it bounces right back up. If that were grass, that thing could have wobbled away from him, bounced right back up into his hands, and he could see that 1st down marker and get the 1st down. I don't know about lowering your shoulder. He'll be talking about that for a week or so. He'll be in the training room for a week.
It was 4th and 10, and he got 13. So the Giants keep it from the 43-yard line. Collins off his back foot. Barber drops it. He could probably feel and hear Emmons, and then there's a flag down.
He had Dan Campbell. Campbell started in the backfield, and he ran through and then ran that. He had him wide open. There wasn't anyone within 10 yards of Campbell. Kerry Collins was looking to his right. Campbell was on his left.
And it's against the Giants, but then it's offsetting because you have a personal foul against the Eagles.
And sometimes you'll see something like that, you know, a Campbell being open and, you know, coming out of the backfield, and you come back to that play.
On the play. Holding, 77, offense, personal foul, 51, unnecessary roughness after the play. The penalties will offset. Replay 1st down.
Personal foul is on Emmons, and when Pettigrew, when he got bull rushed, I guess the next time around he figured I better hold him.
Yeah. This is the Emmons one. It looked like he was having his. Yep, it's always the first guy you don't see. I mean, that goes all the way back to grammar school, doesn't it? I didn't do it. You did it. He did it. He started it. Who started it? You never get the guy that started it.
Yep. 1st and 10. Tiki Barber, and he goes to the 30-yard line. Got in behind the fullback Stackhouse. Picks up the 1st flag.
That was a good block by Jeremy Stockey. I don't think they can call that penalty on him. I mean, he was out there, and if they call holding on Jeremy Stockey, I don't know about that one, because he made a heck of a block.
Holding, 80, offense. During the run, 10-yard penalty.
It was on Jeremy Stockey. But I watched him the whole play, and he's spread out here. You see, he comes in motion, and then he starts down here, and he has a good block, and he's just blocking right there. And he takes his guy to the ground, and because he went down there, it looks like it was a hold. I didn't think the whole way that was a hold. I think that's a pretty good block. And I thought it with my raw eyes, and then I think that as I watched the replay, I think it was a pretty good block.
He got Barber down. Whatever angle the officials saw it at, it looked like a hold, and that's the penalty. It's 1st down and 12 now instead of a 1st down about 25 yards downfield. Now Shockey makes the catch, gets out of Emmons' grasp, and takes it to very close to the first down at the 33-yard line. It was 1st and 12.
And that's where Shockey is so good and is going to be so good, is one, he has quickness and explosiveness to get open, and then after he catches the ball, you see, you can run him on a little 2-yard thing here, and then he can turn and run that ball upfield and bulldog it. And this guy can really be something special. I think he is something special, but I think he can really be something special.
In fact, he's so special, the Giants had him in their sights all the way in the draft, and the Giants almost never trade up in the draft, but they did it the last 2 years, one to get the corner Allen, and then in the last draft in April, and you can see Shockey is limping in, but they had to trade up, afraid that he was going to be taken off the board by the time they could get to the point where they could pick him.
And that was the right thing to do. I mean, they've been playing with Ike Hilliard out there and Amani Toomer and these types of guys, but they needed someone else, something else, another part to go with those guys, and Jeremy Shockey's a perfect guy.
He's the man in motion on 2nd down and 9. And Collins throws it into the back of Mike Rosenthal, and a flag is down. Corey Simon put the heat on.
Can't throw it to your tackle.
Illegal touch. Question is, do they want the yardage or the down? It would be 3rd down. Looks like Andy Reid is saying we'll take the yardage.
By an ineligible receiver on the offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
Speaking of Shockey, here's what Strahan said about him.
Jeremy brings the attitude. He's not afraid of anybody, not afraid of anything. He says what he feels, and that's just it. And I think we respect that about him. That's one thing I like. Most rookies, when they come in, they're afraid. He speak in the locker room, or they don't say anything to the papers. He just says what he feels, and if you don't like it, so be it. And I think we respect that attitude.
Giants on 2nd and 13. Collins throwing, and that's incomplete. And then really paying the price is Hilliard. So much of a price is going to be a personal foul. Brian Dawkins leveled him, and Dawkins is down as well. And both training staffs come rushing out onto the field.
Brian Dawkins, one of the real hitters in this league, and you see Hilliard coming in. The ball is out in front of him. There's no way he had a chance to catch that. That wasn't one of those helmet to helmet. That was helmet to chest. I think the thing, though, that gets Brian Dawkins is that he ducks his head down. You see, and you always want to look and be able to see what you hit. I don't know that Brian Dawkins saw what he was hitting.
Yeah, that reminds me of that play with Leamon Evans in the Hall of Fame game, too, where he got his head down.
The receiver, it'll be a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot and a 1st down.
And that was one that ball was in a position that there was no way Hilliard was going to catch it.
Hilliard up, but Dawkins still down. About 30 seconds into that commercial, Dawkins got up. Some anxious moments here until he got up and then walked over to the bench. He's very angry because he got the penalty on the play. Meanwhile, Hilliard goes back to the locker room. Here's the play again. The personal foul is on Dawkins. He's out of the game, and the Giants have a 1st and 10 now at the 21-yard line, and Michael Lewis, a rookie, replaces Dawkins. Collins goes to the air and throws a flutter ball right on the money to Amani Toomer at the 14-yard line. Melissa, what's the story on Hilliard?
Well, Al, you saw him head into the locker room. He dislocated his right shoulder. They're doing x-rays in the locker room right now. We will keep you posted.
So Hilliard is out. Dawkins comes back in, and he's the key man in the Philly defense. Talking to Kerry Collins yesterday, he says it's the first thing I look at when I come to the line of scrimmage. Where's Dawkins?
Yeah, they have to know where Dawkins is because he's their best blitzer, their favorite blitzer, and even when he doesn't blitz, a blitz will come from his side.
2nd and 2, short drop, and Collins buys time, slings it to the outside, wide open. open is the rookie Stackhouse, but he fumbles it into the end zone, and then it goes out of bounds for a touchback. He fumbled the ball at the 1-yard line, and when it rolls into the end zone and goes out of the end zone, it's a touchback.
Kerry Collins made a heck of a play on that. He looked like Donovan McNabb. He scrambled a little, came off and gets it out to Stackhouse. But if you say, if he fumbles, if this ball goes out of bounds, then it would be the Giants' ball there. If it goes into the end zone, it's a touchback and comes out to the 20, and it's the Eagles' ball.
Exactly.
What Stackhouse here, he gets the ball, all he has to do is turn it up. He should have put it in his outside shoulder. See, he keeps the ball in his left hand. He should have switched the ball right after he catches it to his right hand. You see, he keeps it out there in the left, then he goes to take it out, and seeing that hit comes from that left side and knocks it out.
Jim Fossil doesn't hesitate to challenge calls, but there's nothing to challenge right there. That was clear and evident. And Stackhouse just fumbled the ball out of bounds, in the end zone out of bounds, as Deuce Staley takes it to the 30. So what an ebb and flow on that series. I mean, here are the Giants forced to punt, and then Allen drops the snap and picks up a first down, and then you have a personal foul on Dawkins. Then you get inside the 5-yard line, and you fumble the ball away, and Philadelphia gets it back.
Yeah, and that was a prime example of why when you're up against the sideline, you always put the ball in your outside arm, because then when you get hit, if you do lose it, it'll usually go right out of bounds.
2nd and 1, and McNabb, good fake throws, then it's dropped after the first down is recorded by Todd Pinkston, and he recovers it at the 36-yard line.
You know, one thing I've always felt that, you know, when you get two divisional rivals playing each other and they know each other so well, that it's a more conservative game. That you will not do things, you won't open up, because you remember, and a lot of times you're playing against ghosts. You know, you remember, I remember 4 years ago I tried to run that play and it got stuffed or we fumbled it. So you tighten down, and you play your most conservative games against your rivals.
It's fascinating to hear you say that, as Deuce Staley picks up 2, having coached, John, in the AFC West, where if any division says, you know, forget about going conservative, they have through the years.
I played a lot of ghosts, though. When I used to play ghosts, it was against Kansas City and their defense, their short yardage and goal line, because I remember, you know, Buck Buchanan and Willie Lanier, and there was nothing we could do in there inside. And always worried about short yardage and goal line. You remember what they did 3 and 4 years ago, and you say we can't do it. I used to think we couldn't score in the goal line against them.
Of course, you had your own ghost at tight end.
Well, I had the ghost and a few other things to go with them.
2nd down and 8. And McNabb gets taken down by Short at the 38-yard line.
That's where the Giants are doing a better job right now. Those lanes are still there for McNabb, but now the linebackers are closing them up once they start. You see, early in the game, when he would find one of these lanes, he was able to run all the way through it. Now he sees the lane. You see, he's going to see a lane right here, and he's going to take off in that lane, and then the linebacker comes right up and stuffs that lane. So that's probably an adjustment that they talked about at halftime.
3rd down 7 from the 38-yard line. McNabb throws, caught, and a little short of the first down is Cecil Martin, the fullback. Martin, who played his college ball at Wisconsin and blocked for Ron Dane for a couple of seasons, comes up short, 4th and 1.
You know, Mike Barrow is spying on Donovan McNabb, and we talk about a spy, and you just see what he does. He just starts right here, and he's going to watch McNabb all the way. You see, as McNabb moves, he moves. He just watches everything that he does, and he shadows all his movements, and he's going to plug any lane that McNabb would have taken.
Sean Landetta in his 18th season at age 40. Former Giant. Elvin Joyce on the run back, and he gets creamed as he brings it back to the 25 by Keith Adams.
I'll tell you, there's some hitting in this game. I mean, I watched the Eagles against the Bucs last week, and there was a lot of hitting in that game, and these Eagles have had 2 weeks of big-time hitting in a row.
Season premiere of the NBA on ESPN Wednesday night. Washington, Toronto, of course, that means Michael Jordan means Vince Carter. It starts at 7 Eastern time, and then the NBA on ABC beginning Christmas Day. Speaking of the NBA, the Sixers open up in Orlando tomorrow. Otherwise, Coach Larry Brown would have been here tonight. Loves the Eagles. Good luck to Larry and the Sixers.
Yeah, he's a heck of a coach. He's one of those guys that would have been a good coach in anything he coached. But let me get this straight again now on my seasons. Baseball season ended last night.
Right.
Congratulations to the Angels.
Correct.
Basketball season opens Wednesday. What do we get for football? 2 days?
That's right, by itself.
Yeah, by itself.
Of course, we're well into the hockey season.
Yeah, but remember, it used to be you'd have, baseball, and then when baseball was over, you had football, and then when football was over, you had basketball. Now baseball's over, and you start basketball.
2nd and 11. Don't forget boxing.
Boxing's year-round.
Right.
Boxing goes anytime.
Tennis, auto racing.
Yeah, those ought to go in the summer.
Horse racing?
Golf should go, and horse racing ought to go in the summer, but sometimes they go year-round, too.
They do. We just had the Breeders' Cup the other day.
Yeah, I know it. I have a tough time, thinking of horse racing this time of year, and I have a tough time of thinking of golf this time of year.
I've lost so many brain cells, I don't know what season we're in.
Where'd they go? Are they up there in the moon? You see that shot of the moon? It looks like a piece of cheese.
3rd down and 7. Collins throws and converts on 3rd down. Big 3rd down pass to Dixon, covered by Blaine Bishop, and that stills the crowd at the vet.
Yeah, and that's what the Giants were talking about, and Kerry Collins was talking about. You have to make good decisions, but you have to get rid of the ball quickly with this group, because you know that you're going to get blitzes, you know you're going to get pressure, and you have to get back there and hit that back foot and get rid of it. That's exactly what Kerry Collins does on that play.
And when you look at it again, you can see where the coaches upstairs tell the guys downstairs, worth a challenge. And that's what we have here. Andy Reid rarely challenges. The challenge rule came into effect when Reid became a head coach in '99.
Philadelphia is challenging the ruling on the field that it was a catch. We'll review the play.
So this is only the 7th challenge for Reid. He doesn't even know how to catch the flag when they send it back.
He's an old offensive lineman.
He challenges so infrequently, he can't figure out how to catch it.
What they're saying here is, did Ron Dixon catch a ball? Okay, he has a ball. Both feet are down. The knee is down before the ball comes out. That, I would say, that's not a fumble, just looking at it on that first picture. Again, he has control of the ball. He goes down. Now is his knee down? Yep, his knee is down before the ball comes out. So that shouldn't take too long. Do you see it that way?
Let me take one more peek at this thing, because I want to make sure he has control. Takes 2 steps. Then the knee comes, the knee is down, the right knee.
Yeah, and then the ball hadn't come out yet.
Yep. Don't see anything to overturn the call. No. It was 3rd and 7. It was a 13-yard gain.
So the Eagles didn't recover it anyway. So what the challenge really would be was the distance of the catch, because it was whether it would be complete or
right.
It wasn't that they're challenging it would be a fumble and they recovered.
Exactly.
They're just saying it was an incomplete pass.
Incomplete. That would make it 4th down instead of 1st down. It's also there's more punishment in challenging and not being successful in the second half, because you're going to lose a timeout if you don't have it overturned. First half doesn't really matter that much. Second half, it matters a lot.
But I think the other thing is you lose your challenge too. You only have 2 challenges, and then you get to a part of the game when if you use one more, then you don't have any challenges left until the last 2 minutes of the game.
Exactly. That's what always surprised me. For instance, like Mike Martz loves to challenge, and he'll challenge a play real early. But the question is, what's the upside? What's the downside? I mean, if the upside is so minimal, even if you're successful, why do you lose a challenge? And then later on in the game, and it came back to haunt the Rams in the Tampa game last year in St. Louis. They didn't have a challenge on a play they could have challenged.
And I think, as you say, that's a lot bigger in the second half. In the first half, I think it's just the challenge. Why give up a challenge? Because you may need the challenge, which you only have 2 of for the total game. And the second half, then I still think it's a challenge. But in addition to that, if you lose a challenge, you lose a timeout. And when you get a rivalry and a game like this, Eagles-Giants, don't you just know that it's going to come right down to the end, this one?
Almost always does. I mean, last year's 2 games did. So many have through the years. Carollo took the maximum allotted time to come up with this decision.
And the first guy he tells is the official that made the call.
After reviewing the play, it's been determined that the receiver caught the ball and as he was coming down, never possessed the ball completely. As he hit the ground, the ruling on the field is overturned to incomplete pass.
Well, not the way either of us saw it.
Not charged the timeout.
Remember, we were looking at it at first. I mean, does he possess the ball? That's the first thing you look for.
Yeah, he has to come down with both feet. Boom, both feet. He has possession.
Yeah.
Knees down.
I still see him possessing the ball.
Yeah. Ball comes out at the end. No, I think they had the call right the first time.
I agree with you. I mean, I'm surprised. And don't forget, think of the verbiage. He started the explanation to Carollo by saying he caught the ball. I guess he didn't catch the ball is what he eventually wound up determining. 4th down and 7 now, and they punt with Allen's kick fielded at the 20-yard line. Brian Mitchell, all-time leader in punt return yardage, all-time leader in kickoff return yardage, brings it to the 28. Big break for the Eagles. Halloween coming up. Jim Belushi on Tuesday night. That's tomorrow night. Show doing great. Good to see Jim visited us when the Bears were in Champaign 3 weeks ago.
He hasn't brought them a whole heck of a lot of good luck, has he?
No, he has not. 5 straight losses. McNabb throwing, caught up at the 39 by James Thrash. William Peterson with the tackle.
Yeah, sometimes we show where Michael Strahan beats John Runyon, but to balance it out, you have to show where Runyon blocks Strahan. Here he gets a little help. He knows that he has his left guard, Jermaine Mayberry, in there, so he can be tough to the outside. But as Andy Reid says, Runyon will do best against Strahan when he gets both hands on him. When he has trouble is when he doesn't get both hands, where he just get one hand up there. You can see Runyon has had help 8 times. Been on him 44 times, and I think that early in this battle, I think Michael Strahan won it, and I think that John Runyon, as the game has gone on, has kind of calmed him down a little.
Part of it is, the Giants had so much success until last year against Philadelphia. Strahan is so expressive and demonstrative. Runyon doesn't say much. So even if it's 50-50, it seems like, at least in an oral sense, that guy wins.
Well, Michael Strahan has sacked Donovan McNabb more than he's sacked any other player in the NFL.
Here McNabb gets it away quickly, and that's Thrash making the catch and stepping out of bounds at the 43-yard line.
For years when the Giants were beating the Eagles, they had 2 constants on defenses. One was Michael Strahan would always raise havoc in the front 7, and the Eagles wide receivers couldn't beat press coverage, and those were the 2 things. And last year the Eagles wide receivers started to beat press coverage, and they got a couple deep ones on the Giants. They haven't been able to do that again tonight.
Giants have only given up 1 long pass play all season, 40 or more yards. This is caught by James Thrash. Last year that was a bugaboo for the Giants.
This whole game I've been impressed with this Giants secondary. I mean, I think that the 2 corners, Will Allen and Will Peterson, have done a heck of a job. I mean, they've just blanketed the outside receivers. The safeties have helped, and McNabb really hasn't had anywhere to throw to. I mean they played him, they plastered him, and they played him very aggressively.
third and a short 2 from the 46. McNabb rolling under pressure. Flag is thrown, dumps it off, throws it out of bounds. Mike Barrow came crashing through, and then Brandon Short was the second guy, and you've got a hold against Philadelphia.
That's the thing. I think they know this, that McNabb, when he bootlegs or when he runs, is going to get flushed out to the right side, his right, so they're bringing their blitzes and putting the pressure on the left.
Offense. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, 4th down.
Cecil Martin.
Now, what I'm talking about is the left side of the defense or the right side of the offense. You see, they bring pressure out here, and you see who Cecil Martin got the penalty on. He was assigned to block Michael Strahan, so he went in and tackled him. But they're bringing pressure from McNabb's right side.
Landetta to punt. Delvin Joyce calls for the fair catch at the 11-yard line with 4:16 remaining in the third quarter. It's been a scoreless second half. Eagles 9, Giants 3.
Gee, honey, you never got homesick before.
Discretion advised.
Aerial coverage, Southwest Airlines providing it. A look into the vet. Last time you're going to see that sight on a Monday night game. More than 60,000 looking on. Eagles completing their 32nd season in this facility, and we've got movement up front.
Every time you have movement up front, you get pointing, don't you? That's the next thing. The defense points at the offense points at the defense. The first guy that I saw move was Hugh Douglas.
Neutral zone infraction, number 53, defense, 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
And so did Bill Carollo. And there is the new stadium, and you can see that it's probably 60 to 70% complete. Lincoln Financial Field, and right on schedule. It will open up. Jeffrey Lurie's dream coming true to provide a new stadium for the Eagles. It opens up next season. And it's funny, this place with another flag going down here.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 21.
Barber.
5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Back once we came. It's amazing when I think about this, John. Monday Night Football has been around longer than Veterans Stadium. I mean, Monday Night Football, as Fossil is exercised over that call, began in 1970 at Franklin Field and will have outlasted the life of the stadium.
You know, and one part of me loves these new stadiums and the conveniences and so on. The other part of me hates to see some of these go.
Jeremy Shockey makes the catch. Well, this was built at the same time that Riverfront was built in Cincinnati, Three Rivers in Pittsburgh. A little before that, Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, and now they're all gone.
The Houston Astrodome was before that.
That's right, around that time.
I remember when Shea Stadium was built. That was about the time that the Jets signed Joe Namath.
Namath against the Cleveland Browns was the first ever Monday night game. 2nd down and 1. As Collins throws a little swing out here to Shockey, and he picks up the 1st down. In fact, Monday Night Football, the first time it came to Philadelphia, it was at Franklin Field. And of course, a lot of lore surrounds that game. That was the night that Cosell apparently threw up on Don Merida's boots.
And then what did he do after he threw up on his boots?
Well, he basically, the press contended he'd been drinking. Howard always said he had the flu. Howard used to say the bought and sold knights of the keyboard could never get that story straight.
When did Howard leave to go back to New York?
Good question. The 3rd quarter. That's Ron Dixon taking it up to the 40-yard line.
Jeremy Shockey got him started on that. You know, in that play before, what he did is he kind of blocked and blocked and blocked and then came out, the flat got a 1st down and then kind of got that thing going. And now Kerry Collins can start to get into some kind of rhythm. They need Shockey, but I don't know how long he's going to last. I'm not talking about this game or this series. I'm talking about the whole season with that toe.
The way he's moving around, and this is coming off a bye week too. Barber Nothing happening at the initial spot, so he improvises and turns no gain into a pickup of close to 5.
Yeah, but you see what Barber did just before he got to the sideline and just before he got hit. He shifted the ball from his right arm to his left arm. We talked earlier about Charles Stackhouse, and that's what he should have done. That's what he didn't do. And Tiki Barber does that exactly. Watch him. It's in his right hand. Now as he gets that left sideline, he shifts the ball to his left hand. Now as he gets hit, if they were to knock that ball out, it would go out of bounds.
2nd and 6 from the 44-yard line. Collins, Stackhouse, ridden down short of the first down by Sean Barber, setting up a big 3rd and a yard and a half, maybe 2.
This is where if you have a healthy Jeremy Shockey, this is where he becomes big. You know, you can move him around. He can be outside. He can be slot. He can be a tight end. But you want that big target in those short areas where he can not only use his quickness to get open, but he can use his body to push off a little.
3rd and 2, short 2 from the 48. Good play fake. Going deep, flag thrown off Shockey's hand.
Well, they got the 3rd and short, and they didn't try and get the first down. They tried to get the whole enchilada there. We see everything here. We see an official with his hat off. We see a flag. We see another flag. Something happened over there in the sideline. Usually, again, when the...
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding, 56, defense.
Sean Barber.
Pass interference, number 80, offense.
Shockey.
Penalties offset. Replay 3rd down.
That was Shockey. You see, he starts in the backfield, and he gets a little. Oh, he got grabbed there. That's one thing. And he pushed off the grabber. That's not a bad play. But they called it on Sean Barber and then called it on Shockey.
And you know what I think, John? I think the same guy called both plays. That's why you saw a hat and a flag. He threw the flag, and then he had no other flag. I think the same official actually called both infractions.
Right, and the only thing, if there were a 3rd one, he did have a beanbag left. That comes out 3rd.
Or a shoe. Barber. And he's got the first down. With a minute to play in the 3rd quarter.
You know, they ought to let you do that. If a guy grabs you, I'm watch Shockey here again on Sean Barber. If a guy does this to you, you ought to be able to get away from it to do that. I don't know. I mean, that's probably not in the rule. I mean, that's not the way you play. I mean, that was 2 penalties, and the official was right on that play. But that's what they're saying. The guy was holding our guy. And then that makes, because of that hold, that makes Shockey do that reaction that he did.
And it was the same official calling both infractions. Ron Dane collects it at the 43-yard line, and that's going to take us down to the end of the period. And again, a huge game in particular for the Giants, because at the end of this one, they're either 2 back and will have lost to Philadelphia, or they're even. They're on top along with Philadelphia and having beaten them head-to-head. That much of a difference. Philadelphia leading 9-3. End of 3, and Monday Night Football from Philadelphia returns after this from our ABC stations. In Philadelphia, Al Michaels, John Madden, and Melissa Stark as we start the 4th quarter. The 8th week of the season is winding down. 7th game for each team here. Each team has already had its bye week, and again, the Eagles 4-2. The Giants are 3-3. The Eagles will either lead the division by 2, or the Giants and Eagles will be tied, and the Giants will have knocked off Philadelphia head-to-head. There are the numbers right now. Washington winning last night, 3-4. Dallas hasn't had its bye week yet. Cowboys are 3-5 at the halfway mark.
Something, if the Giants were to score a touchdown on this drive here, they'd be leading. Touchdown and extra point.
It seems amazing, I mean, the way the game is played out. Delvin Joyce is in the backfield, and he gets his first carry of the night. It's a short one. Monday Night Football from Philadelphia being brought to you by Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light.
Capital One. What's in your wallet? Marriott. Wherever business takes you, your Marriott awaits. And Chrysler. Drive equals love. Giants trying to make this drive equal love, and a lead started at their own 11. Big third down here, and 7 from the 40. Knocked down, knocked away, Corey Simon.
And as you say, that was a big down because the Giants, had they been able to pick up about 5 yards, could have been in field goal range. You know, but by not picking up anything, then they still have to punt. They had a couple of shots here. If they could pick up 5, 6, 7 yards and still not get the first down, they would have had a shot at maybe trying a field goal.
Matt Allen to punt. Short little kick, bouncing ball. Mitchell has to back away from it, and the Giants will pin Philadelphia back at the 1-yard line. Mitchell couldn't find that one hop he needed to come away with it. So back at the 1 of the Eagles with a 6-point advantage.
Are you ready for some football?
They anticipate Brett Favre will play, keep that streak going as the Packers host the Dolphins. We go to Green Bay next week. That's a great matchup. Green Bay 6-1. And Miami on top in the AFC East after their bye week, 5-2. Dolphins, Packers next Monday night.
Both teams will be fresh anyway. And the weather will be fresh.
It certainly will be.
Some frost in the pumpkin.
First Monday in November in Green Bay. From the 1-yard line, McNabb buys time, throws, caught, and that gives them a lot of breathing space now. Thrash making the catch, covered by Jason Sehorn.
Yeah, this is a big series here for both the Eagles, you know, to get out, to get the first down. And, of course, the opposite side, the Giants, you know, if they could get a turnover, if they could get a big play here, they can score on defense. I don't know, like, would you rather be the Eagles in this situation on offense or the Giants on defense?
I think I'd rather be the Eagles on offense. I think they protect the ball. You've got McNabb. Long drive would deflate the Giants. Instead, Pinkston on a pass that was well short. Incomplete, 3rd and 4.
Can I make my pick now?
Yeah.
I'll pick the Giants.
You're picking the Giants now on 3rd down.
Yeah, this is one of those things when you get even, then you try and throw it to that back shoulder. See, he tried to throw one of those things where he stopped and brought him back. You know, when you're running even with the corner, you try and throw it back to his back shoulder. That was great coverage, though, by Will Peterson. These corners, these two Wills, Allen and Peterson, have played outstanding.
And they'll be around a long time, too, each in the second year. 3rd and 4. The catch is made, and let's see where they spot it. That's Antonio Freeman, the longtime Packer, and they're going to spot the ball just outside the 11-yard line, and that's going to be enough for a first down.
And that's probably why they got Antonio Freeman. Andy Reid was telling us that of all the guys he's ever coached, he's the best in space. And you see the yellow line there? He catches it right at the yellow line, and then it's where the ball is when he gets hit. I think they may have gotten a pretty good spot there, too, don't you?
No question. That's his first catch of the night. And a big hole for Staley, who cuts it back. And Deuce is loose and out of bounds at the 30-yard line.
That's the hole that they were able to find early. It's that backside where you start to the right and cut it back. Now watch Trey Thomas. He's a left tackle here. The play is going to start here and then come back. So you have to block onside or play side and backside. Trey Thomas gets his guy. He's going in pursuit, and he just rides him right down the line of scrimmage. And it's a big, perfect cutback for Deuce Staley,
who missed a lot of time over the last 2 seasons with foot and shoulder injuries and wasn't even expected to be the starter this year. They lost Carell Buckwalter in minicamp. They thought he would be the guy. He'd give them the running game. Then he got hurt
And it was Deuce who got healthy. And, of course, last week, the huge week. And tonight, for Deuce, 92 yards.
2 years ago, down in Dallas in the open, it was like 130 or 40 or something on the field. That was the pickle juice game. Deuce Staley played one of the toughest, best games that I've ever seen a running back play in my life. And I knew then, I mean, Deuce Staley is a back, Deuce Staley is a man, and if you're picking sides, you want to pick Deuce Staley. That day, he reminded me a lot of Emmitt Smith. And again, congratulations to Emmitt Smith for breaking Walter Payton's rushing record.
Philly takes a timeout. The Big E doing it yesterday against Seattle in Dallas. Timeout Philly. 9-3 Philly. Philadelphia, after the timeout, has the football. Deuce Staley, and that is his given name. He said, that was the second child. My mom named me Deuce. Second down and 10. And McNabb throws, and it's caught by Thrash. James Thrash into Giants territory, out of bounds at the 47.
You know, the interesting thing about that play, Al, that's the one that Andy Reid was drawing up for us the other day and showing us the bootleg. And a lot of times on bootleg, you try and get a short pattern, and what he's trying to do is go bootleg. You see, you fake, McNabb bootlegs to his left. He has two deep crosses here, and that's what he was trying to do, is hit one of those deep crosses with his bootleg. See, here's the fake, here's the bootleg, deep crosses coming from McNabb's left to his right, and he throws it perfectly to James Thrash.
Out of bounds at the 39-yard line. 39 of the Giants, first down. Staley, loss of 1, tackled at the 40, Strahan and short. 11:11 to go, clock ticking down, fourth quarter. Eagles tonight. McNabb now is throwing for 137. Deuce averaging better than 6 yards per carry. And Thrash has been their big guy at wideout, 7 catches. Pinkston's caught 3. Second and 11. McNabb has that batted away, spiked away by Mike Barrow.
You know, I think that's the second time we saw Mike Barrow, who's normally the middle linebacker, come from that left outside defensively, right outside of McNabb, knowing that that's where he's going to bootleg, and that's where he wants to throw the ball, and he's been coming to take away that bootleg, take away that scramble, be flushed out to that side, and then Michael Strahan doesn't have to take containment on that side.
Barrow in his 10th season in the league. Giants now 3-man front. And they rush only 3, and that's enough to put some heat on McNabb, but then he takes off inside the 30, the 20, inside the 10, touchdown McNabb. When people criticize the Eagles, they always say, you know what, they're one player reliant. You know what, if it's McNabb, that's a good player to rely upon.
That's not bad. I mean, Deuce Staley did his part tonight, but I'll tell you, they have found something on that left side. It's where McNabb runs. It's where Deuce Staley has been running, and he can just see so well. McNabb always looks downfield, and he's either looking to throw the ball downfield, or if you give him a lane, he's going to take it. And when he takes it, he can do something big with it.
This is a 99-yard drive. It is the first touchdown of the night. And with a 12-point lead, they will line up for 2. But now the Giants have to take a timeout to get their right defensive package on the field. 9 plays, 99 yards, 3 minutes, 33 seconds. A lot of symmetry there.
You know, and there's just one area here that you can see, and it's back to this side where he's had these lanes. And you can see they try and take it away. He fakes. The big thing about being a quarterback is you have the ball. You can use your feet, but you can also use the ball to fake a defender. And again, once he gets in the open field, he runs like a running back. I mean, watch this. He's big and he's strong, so he can get away from tacklers. Then he has speed that he can run away from tacklers after he gets away from them with his strength. He's an exciting guy. He's a fun guy. You know, I was saying that you would choose, if you were choosing, you'd choose Deuce Staley, and I think you'd also choose Donovan McNabb.
That's 111 yards on the ground for him tonight. The Eagles have rushed for 263 yards. Thrown for only 123. 2-point conversion. Finds the open man, hits him, and Chad Lewis, who hadn't caught a ball all game, picks up the 2-point conversion.
And then you feel that that play took all the life out of the Giant defense. They had no rush at all.
That whole drive did. 17-3. It raised the bar, set new standards, and you won't believe what it's got in store for you now. An all-new NYPD Blue tomorrow at 10 Eastern and 10 Pacific, 9 Central, 9 Mountain, right here on ABC. Thank Dennis and the gang and Stephen Bochco for our tease tonight. Setting up the game at the beginning. 10-yard line, Delvin Joyce. A flag is down. I saw somebody grabbing Sheldon Brown's jersey. Wasn't just rippling in the breeze, and that's the hold.
83 on the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down for New York. Timeout.
Second call against Marcellus Rivers on a special teams play. McNabb and the Birds up by 2 touchdowns. Friday night, ABC presents Gladiator, winner of 5 Academy Awards. Gladiator on a special night this Friday night here on ABC. The Giants now from the 11-yard line. Down by 14. Collins throws. Shockey makes the catch. Up to the 21 he goes. What's the story with Ike Hilliard? Let's check in with Melissa.
Well, I'll remember he suffered that dislocated right elbow in that huge hit by Brian Dawkins at the beginning of the third quarter. Went in for x-rays. The result, they are negative, so no fractures, but he is clearly out for the rest of the game. Dislocated right shoulder.
All right, that's the story on Hilliard. The Giants playing in 6 days, 6 nights, in fact, against Jacksonville on Sunday night. And this is Barber, and they can't get him out of bounds. He stays in bounds and turns what might have been a 10-yard gain into a lot more, taking it to the 50, close to the 50-yard line. 26-yard pickup for him.
Ike Reese was out there, the linebacker. He was out there to make a play, and he just missed the tackle. You can see Jeremy Shockey there. I mean, he is really in pain, and he's just gutting this thing out. But watch Ike Reese. He's going to be right here, and he has a chance to make a play. And here he just, it looked like he tripped before he got there, but that's his play.
Went out at the 47, and there's Barber breaking a tackle inside the 30. Only Dawkins to beat, stiff arms him, and then Dawkins takes him out of bounds at the 15-yard line. And so the Giants, seemingly out of gas after the Eagles took them 99 yards, respond. Barber here for 38.
And again, that's the second poor tackle by the Eagles in a row, because they had Tiki Barber out there, and he just bounced off it. They're not going to bounce off or get away from Brian Dawkins, though. You know, you see 2 plays like that. I mean, they hit a Shockey, they hit a Barber. You say, why did they wait till now to do this? Why didn't they do this earlier?
Shockey has to come out, obviously in agony. Toss it back to Tiki again, chased by Sean Barber, no relation. Of course, Tiki's brother Rondé plays with Tampa Bay. Bucks were in here last week. Barbers are wild in Philadelphia recently.
Here you can see Jeremy Shockey right there saying that he has to come out. I mean, this is, again, it's a ligament in his left toe, and what they did is they taped his big toe and the toe next to it together to try and use it as one, and it's just not holding up. Although he is gutting through it.
12 players on offense in the huddle, 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
I think Ron Dixon that time was the 12th guy.
They're really watching that. I mean, you know, that's an advantage you can get, and teams have been, you know, trying to do that. You know, have a guy linger in the huddle or an extra guy, and so the defense doesn't know what personnel matchup to use.
Shockey's in the game, so is Campbell, the other tight end, 2nd and 13. Collins over the middle. Taken by Delvin Joyce. He's tackled at the 13-yard line.
You know, one thing here that you look down by 14, you know, you have to think touchdown. I mean, there's no way that you can think, well, we'll get a field goal and then come back later and get the touchdown. You have to, if you're the Giants, you have to think you have to go for the score. So this is 3rd down, but you do have 2 more downs. This is a 4-down area.
7.5 to go. 3rd down and 8. Have to get to the 5. Knocked down at the goal line. Intended for Shockey. Knocked down by Bobby Taylor. 4th and 8. Flag down at the line of scrimmage, or behind the line of scrimmage.
And it's going to be against the Giants. This will be an interesting one. If you take it and you leave it 3rd down again, then again, as I said, the Giants are going to be in a 2-down area. Or if you make it 4th down and then make them go for it on this play. If you take the penalty, you're going to give them 2 downs. If you turn down the penalty.
78 right tackle. Hook the defender with restriction, 10-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
Okay, so now they get the penalty, so now they get the 3rd down over. So the Giants in 2-down area are going to use both the downs. So I think that doesn't hurt the Giants, is what I'm trying to say.
I agree with you.
As much as you would think it would.
I'm not sure I wouldn't have taken the play if I'm Philadelphia there. Just give them 1 more down. Or make them kick a field goal. 3rd down and 18. From the 23. Dropped by Collins, and he recovers it himself, and that, of course, was Kerry's problem last year when he set an NFL record for fumbles. This year, a different story. He had only 2 fumbles coming into the game, both in the same game, but that was a most inopportune time.
Remember the thing we were talking about at the beginning of the game, the Giants offensively, consistency, and lack of consistency. And lack of consistency in the red zone inside the 20. This is it. I mean, you get in there and you have a penalty. And then your next play, your quarterback's looking up, doesn't look at the ball, drops the ball. I mean, this has been Giants offensive football.
And the penalties and the fumble here by Collins has just killed him. 4th and 24.
Delay offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
This is the series from hell for the Giants.
Well, you know, it goes back to the question that I asked earlier, are the Giants a good offensive team that is playing inconsistently, or are they just an average team that is inconsistent because they're average, which I think the latter is true.
Absolutely. 4th and 29 now. From the 34, needing to get to the 5, and Collins is hit as he throws, and that's incomplete. Indy Kalu broke up the play, and the Eagles, who were in jeopardy of watching a 14-point lead go to 7, still have that 14-point lead and have the ball near midfield after all of that. 6:29 remaining in the 4th. Kalu breaks it up, and the Eagles 6:29 from a win. ABC Fantasy Wednesday, Serena Williams. She's the new teacher on this show. Juniors looking to make the score. Love all. I mean, I'm just reading this. Anew, my wife and kids at 8 Eastern and Pacific, 7 Central and Mountain Wednesday. I mean, I couldn't make that up. From the 34-yard line on first down, this is Deuce Staley to the 43-yard line.
You know, they found something that they really like on that left side in there behind Trey Thomas and John Wellborn. And look at all these plays that Staley's made. He's been right in that same area where he just takes the ball and then just cuts it back to his left side. I'll tell you, again, Wellborn and Trey Thomas have been really clearing out ways. Deuce Staley has been making some great cuts back there. And you think maybe that's the place that if Keith Hamilton were in the game, that would have been one of the areas that Keith Hamilton would have been in.
Clearly would have made a difference tonight. The Philadelphia rushing game, 272 yards. That gave Deuce 100 yards. Now he picks up more, runs into the official, takes it to the 49-yard line. So McNabb has run for 111 yards, Staley for 108. Speaking of great offensive line play, and when you think about Philadelphia, clearly, let's go back to the draft. Let's go back to the draft. Back in 1958, there was the 21st round selection. No question, John Madden, the type of player who looks forward to a tremendous career in the city of brotherly love.
I have to tell you about that. I mean, that 21st round, I was drafted as a redshirt. I was drafted as a junior. See, in those days, they would draft you if you had another year of eligibility, but it was your 5th year in school.
Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo.
Yeah. So I was drafted as a junior, but I couldn't do anything. I couldn't go play. And then it was the next year that I could go, and that was in 1959.
How much money did you make?
I signed for no bonus, $6,500. $6,500, and then I made $50 for each preseason game. So I think I made, and there were 6 preseason games, so that was $6,800 my first year.
And no agent, though. You didn't have to worry about
they
an
didn't
agent.
have agents. No one had an agent. I think Norm Van Brocklin was a star. He was a quarterback. I think he was making $12,000.
Here's Deuce Staley to the 47.
I don't know where those pictures came from. I don't think that I'd ever seen those, but Philadelphia's always been a special place for me, though.
Yeah, we went deep into the archives. I mean deep. Giants take a timeout. A reminder, vote for Monday Night Football's greatest game at ESPN.com. We've been highlighting some of the great games tonight. A look back at that game 2 years ago. NFL.com has that information for you. And then the 500th Monday coming up in 2 weeks. Oakland, Denver. Eagles now. 2nd down and 8 from the 47-yard line. Staley with back-to-back 100-yard games. Meanwhile, McNabb tonight with 111 yards. He has become the first quarterback in 30 years to rush for 100 or more yards twice in a season. Bobby Douglas with the Bears did it against Cleveland in '72, and then against, you remember, John? You guys.
That was all they had, though. I mean, so we wouldn't let him have that. Say we weren't going to let him do anything else. No, that was the thing. I mean, you'd play the Chicago Bears in those days, and they weren't any good. But Bobby Douglas was big and strong and fast, a lot like Donovan McNabb.
He did it, but you guys won. Oakland won the game.
Yeah, because they didn't have anyone. I mean, the Bears in those days were nothing. They weren't. That wasn't a big thing. I mean, you'd let him run. He got his 100 yards, and their total offense was probably 115 or something. But Deuce Staley, getting back to Deuce Staley, he's been great tonight. I mean he is right, and they found something over there on that left side, and I think that 95% of his yardage has come in that one area, that one type of play.
Well, I know they missed Hamilton, but when you look at that, there's no way in the world you could ever figure that the Philadelphia Eagles would amass close to 300 yards on the ground. They're 290 right now, and now they're about 293 as Staley takes it to the 36.
Hank Fraley got on me the other day, Al. Now, I want you to be the judge. In the first game, we did the thing, and I said that he jiggles. And he came in and said, you know, and all the linemen got on and they started calling him Jiggles. His nickname is Honey Bun. But I mean, does he jiggle when he runs or not?
Actually, McNabb said they just call him Honey now. They've shortened that.
Well, you know how they called him Honey Bun? It was a team picture, and a bee came up and stung him during the team picture. Only Hank Fraley. He's doing a heck of a job, though.
2nd and 7. You're bringing out the best in him, whatever you did, because that line has had some night. The Eagles have had some night. The Eagles are going to go to, barring a disaster here, 5-2, and the Giants are going to drop to 3-4.
You know, I think the question you asked earlier, you know, could this be the best team? Could the Eagles be the best team in the NFC? I think, you know, they very well could be. And if they can keep up this mixture, and if they can keep this offensive line going, if they can keep this running game going, I think they have as good a shot as anyone.
Well, Jeffrey Lurie, that's what his dream is. He bought the team in '94 and his wife Christina. 3rd down and 5. Dorsey Levens to the 32-yard line. The Giants have no timeouts remaining, so they can't stop the clock. This will take us down to the 2-minute warning. And 4th down upcoming. Runyon and Strahan renewing acquaintances, as they will again later on this season. But the night to this point clearly belonging to the Philadelphia Eagles and that offensive line. What a job.
Are you ready for some football?
Brett Favre has Green Bay in first place. Ricky Williams steamrolls opponents for front-running Miami. Division leaders collide.
Michaels and Madden are here for Monday night.
Monday Night Football being brought to you by Michelob Ultra. Lose the carbs, not the taste. Wendy's Mozzarella Chicken Supreme. It's chicken on a higher level. And Nissan and your Nissan dealer. John, it was great being here today in Philadelphia. We went to that pep rally. The mayor was there this afternoon, right downtown. Here it was. About 12:30 this afternoon.
These fans in Philadelphia are passionate. They're great.
Read my lips. Retroactive tax cuts. How does that sound?
You can all come in the bus. Everyone. Cheap steaks for everyone.
You should have seen the look on the mayor's face when I said that.
I was standing next to the mayor when you said that. That's the way to be a politician. That's called the old hit and run.
That's intoxicating. You stand up there and the crowd is there and you say something and they're screaming like crazy.
Yeah, you tell them no taxes and they love you. The only thing you didn't do when you said that was hold a baby. And you had a baby in your hand, I'll guarantee you.
Kiss the baby.
Happen. Yeah.
That's right. But it was fun. Last week we got the key to the city of Pittsburgh. Little Keystone combination for us this week.
The old Liberty Bell.
4th and 3, and Deuce Staley will not be able to pick up the first down. Tackled by Omar Stoutmeyer. They'll turn the ball over. The Giants will have it, but with nary a timeout. The horse trailer.
I thought we had a real horse down there.
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know. I don't know what happened to the horse. The horse probably went, what do they call that when they do that?
Balk?
I don't know. What do you call it when a horse?
Spit the bit?
No. Whines?
Finish out of the money?
I don't know.
Well, how about that guy for the horse trailer?
I think it has to be that guy. I mean, you know, we already have Donovan McNabb, and I think we can put a rule in. You can't put a guy in there. I mean, he's already on there. I mean, all we can do is haul him once. We can't haul 2 McNabbs. So if we're not taking 2 McNabbs, the Staley sounds good to me.
1-term limit. Collins has the ball jarred loose. It's still loose, and it goes out of bounds, but the Giants last possessed it. It was Darwin Walker who was trying to come up with a loose football, but couldn't.
So as you say, the Giants last possessed it, so the Giants still have possession of it.
Way back. You know what killed the Giants tonight, though? Of all the things, John, in addition to the penalties and missed opportunities, that fumble by Stackhouse. When Stackhouse in the third quarter is going into the end zone, that would have given the Giants the lead, pending the extra point. And think of it this way. I mean, if it goes out of bounds at the 1, it's still the Giants' ball. But into the end zone and then out of the end zone, touchback Philly ball, end of story.
Yeah, and the Giants don't have enough offense that they can recover from that. I mean, they aren't a team that's going to put up 4 or 5 touchdowns and say, you know, losing one won't hurt us. Losing one hurts you big time.
Barber taken down hard at the 26-yard line. The Giants have now played, when this one is over, 7 games, and they have 7 offensive touchdowns, and that's just not going to do it.
Yeah, and again, it's inconsistency, and you can say offensive line, but it's not offensive line. I mean, it's Kerry Collins, it's a wide receivers. I mean, they just aren't getting the job done offensively.
Tiki Barber takes it up to the 34-yard line.
I think if Jeremy Shockey were healthy, though, I think this could be a different thing. And as I said, that toe thing is a ligament and probably won't get better this entire season. But if they had Shockey on one side and then they have Tiki Barber, then, you know, they have some explosion, something that'll scare you.
Hands to the face, number 97, defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Darwin Walker.
Darwin Walker just got a big contract.
Yeah.
He was a free agent, and the Eagles signed him, and then he started to play, and then they were impressed with him, and they say, you know, you look at his arms. His arms, they don't look real big, do they? But they say that he's the strongest guy on the team.
Well, he got this opportunity when Hollis Thomas got hurt, and then he comes in leading the team in sacks coming into the game.
But sometimes you see those guys that got those big old bulked up, you know, cut arms. His arms aren't big old bulked up or cut, but they tell me he's the strongest guy on the team.
1st and 10. Dixon. They also say he's one of the smartest guys on the team. Engineering major. Andy Reid telling us he knows how the stadium gets built next door.
And Andy said that fouled him up for a while. You know, you can't be a defensive lineman and be too smart. You know, engineers try and figure everything out where everything makes sense. Defensive linemen just go. You know, and so the engineering side of the brain kind of slowed back the football part of the maturation.
They talk about all news being local news, and there's the horse.
We got a real live horse.
That looks like a police pony.
That looks like he has some teeth problems. There, was that one?
Yep. That's virtual audio. 2nd and 10. And that's caught by Marcellus Rivers. Talking about all news being local news. I'm down in Tennessee this week. The Darwin Walker story, the fact that he signed, is the second story on the sports segment on the local news in Knoxville. But
yeah,
big news. Tennessee kid, went to the University of Tennessee. Here's Barber, and he gets taken down at the 20. The Giants had spent all of their timeouts well before the 2-minute warning, and so they can just play it out right here. Fake spike, going to the end zone, knocked away. Al Harris does it. The Philly defense does it all night long. The Philly offense, the ground game, phenomenal. 299 yards on the ground. 126 to Deuce, 111 from McNabb. The Eagles are now 5-2 and on top in the East by 2, 17-3. Horse trailer player of the game, Deuce. He becomes, in this, the week 8 of the 2002 season, the first running back to adorn the horse trailer. And let's go down to Deuce with Melissa.
All right, Al. Well, 299 total yards rushing, 126 of them from this guy right here, Deuce. How surprised are you that you beat this Giants defense on the ground?
Very surprised. The Giants have a stingy defense, and we knew that coming in. But we also knew we had to come in and establish a run to help Donovan, and that's what happened tonight.
That cutback play to the left side. How much of that, part of that was the game plan coming in?
It's design. It's a zone play, and if everybody flows to the right or left, you're able to cut it back. We've been running that play for a while now, and I've been here 6 years and been running every year.
Donovan McNabb, 111 yards rushing and a touchdown. Is there anything that this guy can't do?
Hey, he showed tonight that he's able to kill you with his arm and his feet. For the last 2 weeks, he's able to get on the ground and rush for a lot of yards, almost more than me.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
All right, well, 2 back-to-back 100-yard rushing games for Deuce Staley, Al.
39 rushes for the Eagles tonight. They averaged 7.7 yards per rush. We'll wrap it after this. Sayonara to Veterans Stadium. We'll talk to you from the parking lot across the way next year. Been a lot of fun. A lot of fun for the Eagles thus far this season, as there are the up-to-date standings in the NFC East. Philadelphia on top in the division by 2 over the Giants and Washington, and 2.5 over Dallas. Next week we go to Green Bay. Good one. The Packers and the Miami Dolphins. Now stay tuned for your late local news. Those of you on the West Coast, the Drew Carey Show, followed by Whose Line Is It Anyway? Al Michaels, John Madden, Melissa Stark saying good night from Philadelphia.
Has won the Indianapolis 500. The Red Wings won the Stanley Cup. A new world champion. Are you kidding me? Best final round ever. They're out of their seat. That is picture perfect. Inside the 20, goes all the way for a touchdown. They are the undefeated team.
The tradition continues. Sports' biggest events right here. This is ABC Sports Championship Television.
ABC Sports thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League.
Hey, we're joined now by Sean Salisbury, ready to make some squiggles. But he got it done with his legs.
And it doesn't matter, because if he doesn't do one, he does the other. That's why he's such a great weapon, and it becomes contagious. This football team now starting to run the ball. Deuce Staley got his second game over 100 yards, and if they do that, they're going to be scary. Start with this now. McNabb early in the game on a quarterback draw. That's how we're starting that. Those are nice effects. I like that. Going to see him drop back here and come right up the middle. Watch how this hole opens up. Smart guy in an even defense. Drops back. We got to kick out. We got to kick out, kick out, kick out. Going to come here and watch McNabb take this down here. This is one thing. McNabb gets in the hole. But here's what I love. You want to know which team wins? Take a look at why receivers are so big to free up their guy Pinkston, making a beautiful block to get McNabb. Once again, we're going to watch my little motion here. We're going to hand the ball off. This is Deuce Staley. At the end of second game over 100 yards. Look at the bind he's in. This great fake here holds this guy so he can get back inside the hole here. Keep an eye on 87 again. Todd Pinkston with the key block here to spring Deuce outside for another big run. Great effort. Gives him another 10 to 12 yards on the run. Let's get Dorsey Levens into it. We're going to hit it up in here, but we're going to have great blocking by the offensive line. Watch how they push him aside. Cave everything down, bind. McNabb's fake's going to hold him so Dorsey can pop up inside here and take it to the second level. And just for fun, he may not get there. Watch this effort here by Pinkston one more time as Levens breaks this tackle with stiff arm. Pinkston's going to come running right along the edge and get into the picture and do it. David, if this team runs the ball this well, not just with their quarterback, but with their football team, they are going to be real tough to beat in January because their defense is dominant, as it showed tonight. That's why you got 3 points on the board when it's all over. First half, have a look at this now. On 3rd and 5, you've got to find a way to get 3rd and 5. We're going to work this here. Here's the first down strike. Call a play, gives us a chance. This doesn't give me much of a chance. It's a bad play, but also, if he makes this catch, got a DB sitting here, he's tackled there. We need to get to there for the first down. We don't. Don't like the call, gives you no chance to be successful. Another time here, 3rd and 5. Take a look. We got to get to this yellow line here. Bad feet, Kerry. Set your feet properly so you can throw this thing on a line. And what's the result? Down there in the ground. You hit him in front of him. He runs first down, doesn't get it. That's a going in. They didn't get any touchdowns. You don't score touchdowns against the Eagles. You do not win the game. And finally, you've got to be patient. One more time, 3rd and 5. Again, there's our first down marker. Collins in the pocket. Look how easy this is. This is your best, most versatile player. Tiki Barber with the linebacker there. You go over the top, you got to get over him. High throw, look at all these guys converge. Gonna make the play, no, too high. You're gonna get your receiver killed. Kerry Collins, when he's at his best, is when he's setting his feet and throwing it. The offensive coordinator, Sean Payton, didn't give him much chance on a couple of those, and Kerry was not decisive in his decisions, which makes a big, big problem, and the Eagles defense too good for that.
A lot of problems for the Giants on that side of the ball. We are sticklers for fundamentals on this show. Coaches will tell you got to get the football in the outside arm, the arm closest to the sideline. A rookie on the Giants had a problem with that tonight.
Inexcusable. It should become habit, and it was Charles Stackhouse. This is the turning point in the ball game. Even though the Giants didn't play well, take a look. First of all the trouble's in here. Turn outside towards the sideline when you catch the ball. He's going to turn right back into trouble where the secondary is. Now he's got the ball in his inside arm right there. You got bodies coming to knock that ball and strip it. Guess what you got to do? Well, he's going to continue on. Make that switch right now before he gets his hand here. Put it in that arm here, so if he does hit, it goes out of bounds, and you get the ball there. But it's going to cause a fumble. Ball's going to go out of bounds through the end zone, which is a touchback defensive ball. That's not how you do it. Here's how you do it, Dave, which is awesome. Veteran, Tiki Barber, your best football player. Where's that ball in his right hand? It's on the inside. Look at all this trouble here. I want you to show you what a veteran and a pro will do before contact. Switches to the left arm. Even though they're chasing, no matter what happens down here on the sideline, if he gets hit, even if they do strip it, ball goes out of bounds. You retain possession. Very interesting small point that you learned in Pop Warner football, but it might have cost the Giants their only touchdown of the night and kept them in the game. That's why the Eagles win. Far better team. The Giants embarrassed themselves with penalties tonight, too.
And I'm sure Charles Stackhouse will remember to switch it the next time around. That one really cost him.
Yes.
We saw it yesterday with Michael Vick, and we saw it today with Donovan McNabb. I don't know how a defensive coordinator prepares for these guys. If you have great coverage, bingo, they're going to beat you with the run. If we're going to talk about this in just a second, but first, Jim Fossil has just come to the podium at the Vet. Let's join him now and hear what he has to say after the Giants' loss.
The league will address that with a fine if they see it necessary.
Coach, a couple of situations in that third quarter, Stackhouse fumble, then you get a first down pass called back on a coach's challenge. Talk about that kind of frustration when that kind of happened to your squad.
Well, I think it did, but I think that we kept coming back. I mean, we came back. I think it does. It mounts up. My angle, I didn't think it was a fumble, but I don't have a striped shirt on.
Well, those things kind of happen to you.
Well, it frustrates you, but I mean, we got to handle those things. Everything's going to happen, and there's enough stuff out there that it could frustrate us, and we got to be frustrated with ourselves a little bit with him running, getting Donovan McNabb out of the pocket, and they kept running, to tell you exactly what we called. I mean, they're just running the lead to the right side and cutting it back, and we just didn't play it at all. We should have. That's not hard to shut down at all. We didn't shut it down at all.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time since teams have run against you or guys like that. Is it more than just containing McNabb? Were there more problems in the run game?
Well, like I said, I mean, they ran a cutback play for I don't know how many yards they got on that one. I couldn't tell you right now, but that's not that difficult to shut down. In too far upfield, not squeezing the backside. We had a blitz right into it one time. Slant the line. Linebacker just flew. The linebacker just left and flew, and they had our whole front seven squeezed to the side. Linebacker's got a slow play out to the backside. We got the corner coming. I mean, we got a blitz coming right into it, and it gashed us.
Jim, were you upset with Jeremy Schotten's comments last week? And do you think that had an effect on the game?
No, I don't think it had. I don't think it had one bit of effect on the game. I do not believe it had an effect on the game. The way the game was played in the first half and everything else, I don't think it had anything to do with it. But he's got to watch what he says. He's got to be careful.
Jim, with all that said about the lack of run,
fellow head coaches will be shaking their heads this season when they face Donovan McNabb. He is the ultimate weapon.
In the first half and everything else, I don't think it had anything to do with it. But he's got to watch what he says. He's got to be careful.
Jim, with all that said about the lack of run defense and so on and so forth, the bottom line is you still had a chance to win the football game, but 3 points, 7 touchdowns in 7 games. You spent 2 weeks trying to get this offense back on track. Did new problems crop up today, or is it the same old stuff that you see?
Well, I think it's a good defense, but I'm very frustrated with the offense right now. I'm very frustrated with what we're doing and how we're doing it, and everything's going on. We get 3 points, it can't happen. And we can always say, well, it's a penalty, it's a fumble. Yeah, but bottom line result is that's we're not scoring points. We are not scoring points.
So what about Jeremy's emotions on the field? Did you talk to him?
Yeah, I talked to him during the game. That he's got to be careful. He's got to be careful. He's too excitable right now.
Jim, did the referee or line judge talk to you about the measurement early in the game where it looked like the referee actually moved the ball?
No, he did not. No, some of those things I can't see. There's too many people on the field and stuff. I can't see that stuff. I had my disagreements with their calls, but I couldn't tell you on that one.
What about the ruling on the catch where he said he caught it, but then he dropped it?
Dixon's?
Yeah.
I thought he had it. I thought he had his knee down. And it was down by contact, I thought.
At this point in the season, what do you see this team and how do you think they...
Well, I mean, I think this team, I mean, we got young players, and our young players are making mistakes. It's pretty obvious, but it's not just the young players. And there's a lot of season left. We're 2 games behind them now. We get to play them again, and you know, you never know how the season turns for anybody. And the biggest thing for us right now is we got to start scoring points on offense. And we're not going to beat anybody in this league scoring 3 points and the amount of points we're scoring. 7 touchdowns, 7 games is not going to win a lot of football games.
What went wrong on the McNabb touchdown run that gave him that?
We had a spy on him. We had a spy. Linebacker was on a spy. The back took off. It's not his guy. He chased the back, and he just took off. We had a spy on him. We had a 3-man rush with a spy, which he should have been able to play him athletically. We should have been able to play him there.
Our locker room is open.
Okay.
Thank you.